Yo, basically, Vermin took a flight.
And we're live.
So Vermin took a flight to hang out with Gray and all of that, right? Oh. And the airlines, they shit the bed on him. It's going to be a delay. We don't have any pilots. What?
Oh, bro. What? You mean you don't have any pilots? What job?
You had one job, nigga. Right? No pilots. So they had that man jammed up, I think in Chicago. Jammed up and waiting. So Graydon felt so bad about it that he did a live stream to keep dude company while he was up.
Oh, that's cool.
That was cool. It was dope, right? Yeah. And it just went longer than I because I didn't know he was streaming. My fucked up sleep schedule, right? Yeah. So I wake up lying in the bed like, man, this is some bullshit going every night with this shit. So I'm up. I said, pick up my phone, and this nigga is streaming live. It's probably like I want to say it was 4, maybe 5 in the morning or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Nah. What's up, Biddy?
What up?
Surprised Biddy up, but she wasn't there for the whole thing. But yeah, man. Like, and then when I went back to bed, and when I got up, I went and checked on Facebook. That nigga had streamed for 8 hours.
Bruh.
So he's probably unconscious right now. he's probably unconscious right now.
Wow.
Yeah. And I still haven't got any word on Verm, whether or not he. Yeah. Yo, but something Graydon said in that stream about how these airlines, yes, there are different companies of airlines, but overall there is nothing that's the equivalent of flight as far as speed of travel. So as an industry, they have a monopoly on that, right? Okay. And it's like they really haven't been doing all that well in the last few years as far as customer service is concerned. Now, some of it is, I think, part and parcel to that industry trying to service that amount of people on an everyday basis. Like no one can expect there not to be fuck ups, hiccups, just from the nature of how they do business. But some of that shit is gross negligence, yo. And you know what I'm saying? Just gross negligence. Like, how do you that's to me like you walk into a grocery store and they ain't got no cashiers. And this one of these old school ones that don't have the self-checkout. Oh, we didn't really, somebody forgot to schedule the cashier. What? Manager, you better get your monkey ass behind that cash register and start doing something. Big Mike does a dab in the middle of the chat. I'm awake before noon. I'm going to be everyone's problem.
Oh, man, Fat Man Scoop passed.
What?
Yeah, he got in the hospital last night while he was on stage. Like, something happened while he was on stage. And he got rushed to the hospital. I didn't see exactly what they said the problem was, but I saw he got rushed to the hospital. And just 16 minutes ago, I see somebody reported that he passed.
Damn.
Scoop was only 53.
See, here's the thing, bro. And I gotta do something about my homepage. But every time I open that homepage up, it's somebody died. And a lot of times, there are times, of course, they be older people, but a lot of times they be 40, 50, 55, shit like that. That's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Dang, bro.
Yeah, man. That's wow. That sucks, yo. Damn.
Yeah.
And they ain't say nothing about
what called it last night. No, it's not saying what happened.
Collapsed on stage.
Effectively. I don't know if it was a full collapse. I don't know if it was somebody close enough to, grab onto him or whatever the case may be, but it happened while he was performing.
Now, some people might say this is probably the way he wanted to go. I would argue no.
I would argue no.
I think people romanticize the art part of, like, all right, so he was a man who probably had a family. If he was wanted to go, it would have been with his family surrounding him. Like
more likely.
You know what I'm saying? Not on stage with you fucking morons. Right? But I think people romanticize. They don't realize that artists are people. They're not just. It's not just the art they produce. That's not the only layer to them.
Right.
I would much rather be around my family. Like I said, my dad, that's, if you're gonna go, that's it right there, right? I mean, besides all the pain he was in, but I think they had him on something so he wasn't feeling the pain towards the end or whatever. But he was literally surrounded by most of his family, and this was during COVID, where that was almost unheard of for shit like that to happen. They made an exception in that case. So when he closed his eyes for the final time, he was surrounded.
Right.
Yeah.
So he collapsed. He was hyping up the crowd. He collapsed. He collapsed as he stepped onto the DJ Boost platform, out of the audience's view. But video did catch people performing chest compressions. Authorities were called around 8:33. He was stretchered off stage, transported to a local hospital.
Hold on, y'all. I forgot to take my pill.
Still doesn't say the exact cause. That's probably not going to be out for a while. Yeah, that's crazy. That's definitely starting this off on a super somber note. Like, bro, I'm sorry for that. But I was scrolling my Twitter, and that's what I saw pop up.
So our condolences to Fat Man Scoop's family.
Absolutely.
I wonder about some stuff like, so he collapsed when he got on stage. And I'm sure these type of things happen where you don't have any clue, and then all of a sudden about, but also there are times when somebody isn't really feeling good.
Right.
And up until that moment, they're not feeling good. They feel weird. They feel maybe a little lightheaded. Maybe they have chest pains. Maybe they have some sort of just not feeling yucky, right?
Yeah.
And men are told, suck it up, buttercup.
True.
And not say nothing. Like, when there's pressure on you to go out there and perform, there's contracts that were signed, not wanting to disappoint the audience.
Right.
Needing the money, maybe, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And not wanting to cancel. I think like, I don't know if that was true in this case, but I think I think it's worth mentioning the fact that, fellas, if you don't feel good, say something.
Yeah. I
don't care what the situation is. It's difficult. I know you be in the middle of stuff that's important, and you feel like, no, man, I'm gonna tough this out. And then when I get home, I'm gonna lay down. You don't feel good, bro. Right. Like shit. Say something, because you don't want to handicap yourself in the sense that you run into the hospital every time you whatever, but when something just feels wrong. Wrong. Right. Damn, man, that's crazy.
Right.
Crazy. That's crazy. So
There are no actual transitions for something like this.
No, there really isn't.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just. Oh, I know. I'll just transition to the intro real quick. How about that? That's a palate cleanser.
That's the cleanest. Yeah.
Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SPJ.
And
I am Tombstone's the Dead Man, and we are just a couple of geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective. Facts indeed. I don't listen. I be really not trying to take my community to task about stuff because we got a lot going on. But at the same time, when you're cutting your nose to spot a face, it's just somebody got to say something. Somebody got to say something. Like when you driving too close to that cliff and you can't see it for whatever reason, somebody's got to go, yo, please chill. I've been seeing this a lot the last few days. The celebrity Negroes are blowing my high, man. You're blowing my high. I'm trying to chill. I'm just trying to do my creativity. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do on a political front. I suggest people do what they do or whatever. I be really trying to chill, but y'all just don't be letting the motherfucker chill. Right? I've been seeing, if it ain't Jermaine Dupri with the goofiness, the nigga that fumbled Janet Jackson, we don't want to hear from you about shit. We want my head. Talking craziness or showing how uninformed you are. Bro, I don't want to hear you talk about the presidential election when nobody heard you open your mouth about the midterms at all. I don't want to hear you talk about that when in the state you are from, they erased 800,000 niggas off of the voting rolls, and we heard nothing from you. Nothing. Like, there's a certain. Let's be consistent with our standards, bro. Let's at least make the attempt to, because you asking of one but not asking of the other. Like it's stupid. Then I turn around and I have to see Lil Duval, goofy little Duval doing the same type of shit, and he ain't the only one. There's quite a few of you motherfuckers now that came out who I ain't here to talk about nothing. No other time. By the way, we have more than just presidential elections in this country. For those of you who didn't know that, we have more than presidential elections in this country, right? As a matter of fact, if you don't pay attention to the midterms and at least do what you can do to get senators.
And it's the same nigga that had them rape joke tweets. Okay.
Yes. That's him. That's him.
Right.
But you know what it is? Honestly, it's the arrogant sneer for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That arrogant sneer that gives off the impression that you've achieved something or have been holding shit down for so long that everyone should want to listen to your opinions, your takes, right? Like, come on, like they pandering to everyone but black men. That's what Lil Duval said. He pandered to everyone but black men. Bro, it's time for y'all to have some real truth right now, right? Why would any political party pander to you specifically, your demographic? Let's look at it. Let's look at it logically and dispassionately for a minute, because I know, like, when people say that shit, it sounds like, yeah, that's right, because we're citizens too. I get it. Let's look at it dispassionately, though. The data shows that black men vote less than every other demographic group.
Mm-hmm.
Than every other demographic group. Why are you expecting to pander you again? You don't, by and large, and let me put this in before morons come in and say, I vote. Nigga, you as an individual.
Right.
We're talking about as a demo.
Mm-hmm.
These politicians and political parties ain't thinking about you as the individual. They're thinking about blocks of numbers, blocks of people. that can come in and sway an election this way if it's a close one, right? Y'all niggas don't vote. And I know for a fact you don't, because as politically informed as I have been since my fucking late teens, even I didn't consistently engage with that until I was like maybe 25-ish, right? I didn't. And I used to watch this as entertainment. The McLaughlin Group and Beat the Press and Face the Nation. I used to watch that shit as entertainment. You know, like, and I didn't consistently do it. So somebody who knew the issues didn't consistently do it. And we can tell by the shit you're saying, you really don't know dick. You don't think about none of this shit unless it comes across your timeline on Twitter or some shit. And you want to post about it. Like
what up, Cindy?
What up, Cindy? Like, why would they pander to you? And also, let me see if I understand this. So violence in our neighborhoods, black males, not the source of the problem, because the source of the problem is poverty informing culture. That's the source of the problem. But the ones doing it, by and large, us, not raising these kids. Again, there is nuance there.
Yeah, of course.
And I need to say that. But there is enough truth there to make this an issue, right? Not showing up for the midterms, like I said earlier. But now y'all showing up with this during the election with so much to say, but not actually having a fucking clue on the issues or the records of the politicians involved and how the goddamn system works.
Right.
I go like, you out here showing your whole ass again. Pull your pants up. Pull your pants up. We tired of saying it. We are. Some of us grew up out of that. You should have grown up out of that. And if I got to hear one more goddamn time, because vote for who you want, I don't care. Because at a certain point, I'm not even going to be here anymore, right? So if you want to take a dump on all this shit and crash out, please just wait till after me and my family and my circle and tribe leaves. All right? Crash out then. But if I got to hear one more motherfucker talking about Trump and HBCUs and $255 million, and if I got to hear one more motherfucker bring that uninformed shit up and make that a big deal, and then when you're informed and shown that goofy ass Biden gave $16 billion to HBCUs, and I don't see you doing cartwheels about that, that's when I know it's not about the policy. It's not about the policy. It's something else going on over there. Right? Something else going on over there. I just look. It's certain shit I don't get involved with. B, for real.
Right.
Like there are certain issues that I don't spend time reading about. It doesn't gather my interest. It's not to say that it's not an important issue, right? It's just not in my wheelhouse to pay attention to that. So you know what I don't do? You know what I don't do? I don't get online and pontificate on these things that I know zero about. In fact, I have certain people in my life that may focus on that sort of thing. And if I am curious because I heard something shit, I go to them, go, yeah, what's this? Blah, blah, blah. For instance, when there's some on the ground shit happening on the continent of Africa, and specifically west to Central Africa, right? I have people who still live there or come from there, right?
Right.
They still keep up with what's happening over there. I can go to them and ask them, hey, Afidi, I just read this. What are they talking about? And then even if she don't know the whole thing, she knows some of it that can lead me to a path if I continue to be interested to go and search and find some shit. You know what I don't do? The first time I hear it and the ambient shit that's floating out here, I don't immediately go to social media. No. I'm just asking that we refrain from looking foolish.
Not right.
I'm basically just
no.
I'm at, I'm just saying, like, let's chill out.
No.
Listen, I know.
Like what happened? Wouldn't be prudent. Well, it would.
We wouldn't. I understand. We all would like to be thought of as informed men about town. The most interesting man in the world.
I mean,
we all want to look, and it's a great vision. It is. The thing about it is the thing that holds a lot of us back from actually being that is it takes some work.
Well, sure. And also numbers, because most applies one.
That's true. Oh,
can't.
The numbers.
I bet.
It's the numbers that get. Listen,
yo, arithmetic be fucking people up all the time.
You fucking them up out here.
All the time.
I get it. It's just like those of you who are solidly in the working class, solidly, meaning what you do for a living couldn't be more working class,
right?
Meaning the prospects of you doing anything other than that are so slim that it looks like, provided the business stays in business, you don't do nothing goofy and get fired, that's where you're going to probably retire. You are solidly there. You don't even do other things outside of this,
right,
to make the attempt. You guys, like, fight for your interest. Do that.
Yeah.
Fight for your interest. Yours. You are solidly working class. You ain't going nowhere. You're right there. Like, it could be temperament. It could be intellectual disposition. That could be it. It could be you're just satisfied there. Like, you like what you do. It fits your lifestyle and you're comfortable. And I always tell people, prioritize happiness over. Prioritize being happy at the end of the day, because you got one of these, and after you've spent them few times around the sun, you up out of here, right? So at some point in your life, you're going to prioritize being fucking happy, right? Being satisfied. And I get that. I don't begrudge nobody prioritizing their happiness. But sit some of this shit out, though, Playboy. Sit some of this shit out, because y'all.
What up, GA?
What up, GA? You don't know dick. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say.
If you want to be obvious about it.
Look. I'm trying to help. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't spend an inordinate amount of time obsessing over numbers, dates, historical events, how the system actually works. It'll spend a lot of years since you watched Schoolhouse Rock. You don't remember none of them songs. You don't remember none of them. You know what I'm saying? Sit this out, Playboy. Because this is what you're doing, right? We see you most of the time. You don't talk about this, and we good with it. We good with you not talking about it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Your stock with us is high as fuck because you don't talk about that, and you talk about the stuff you typically know or are into. Shut the hell up.
What's going on over there? What's going on over there?
Cat's by the door threatening the other cat behind the door. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Are they beefing?
He beefing. She don't give a fuck. She doing what she doing behind that door. She don't care about that. That's him on the bullshit. And because I'm on the show, I ain't go over there and chase his ass upstairs. But it's about to happen to him if you keep it up. So anyway, oh yeah. Your stock is high with us. Your stock is high as shit with us because you talk about the stuff that you
understand. You know your lane.
You know your lane. At least that's what it gives off us. Every time, not once, that's why. Every time you get beyond your skis, you lose cool points with us. Every time you get on there talking about some shit, and here's the thing: I don't mean asking questions. Nah,
right.
I mean the whole self-assured, arrogant sneer that we can see in your post about some shit. You know, I was about to get real out. You know nothing about. You haven't spent any time on that topic. You don't know anything about it. Sit this one out, Playboy. Sit it out so we can still look at you favorably and still see you as decent.
And I want to reiterate, when you spent more time making rape jokes about your daughter
bruh.
than you have trying to do anything positive politically.
Bruh.
I don't want to hear you crying about pandering.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. Playboy. See, I was about to get excited again. Sit this out. I'm trying to say it to you in kindness because we come from the same. I come from Krypton too. I don't like people yelling at me. That shit hit me. You know what I'm saying? We got the same shit going on right there, right? Right? Right. I'm trying. Yo, G, it's crazy. Listen, I get that. I don't like it either. I'm a grown ass man trying to yell at me. But I don't like that. What I'm saying is though, you don't know dick about any of this stuff, and you getting on social media, and you acting all arrogant, and you making claims about people's record, and in the moment somebody asks you for source, you disappear. This is a phenomenon I've seen across all fucking social media sites. I literally saw it again this morning. Guy gets on Twitter, guy responds to something that's informed and with sources and references.
Yeah.
And they respond in a contradictory way, thinking they know shit, and you can smell the sneer on the comment. And then the moment the other responders, first responders, come down there with more facts and more citations and all of this stuff. Siobhan, do me a favor. Put his hands up. Close the door. Thank you. The moment they came with citations, facts, links, this, that, other. By the way, this dude did attempt to come with a link, but here's the problem with your link, sir. That exact same link that you use that you think somehow disproved what the original commentator said, it didn't. And the fact that they were talking about can literally be found on your link.
Yikes.
Set this one out, Playboy.
Oops.
And then the moment these people came with all this stuff, you ran. Branded, scorned as the one who ran. What will you do when you're branded and we know you're not a man? Wherever you go for the rest of your life, you have proved you're not a man. I'm just saying, sit this out, Playboy. Because that foolish bullshit, so cosmic, that foolish bullshit. Nah, I'm gonna tell you what it is, GA. I'm people who don't spend any amount of time really talking about politics at all or studying it or looking, they don't, as far as civic shit, they don't know nothing about that. They wait until it becomes a trending thing on social media, like election year, to get on there and talk about shit that they know nothing about. They know no facts, no dates, none of the history, none of how the system actually works. And they get up there arrogantly stupid, and say stupid shit. And it's like, yo, regardless of which side you're on, endeavor to be correct or at least honestly wrong.
No.
Exactly. You see that? See what he said? No, they don't. I'm asking, and I see this a lot with our folks, GA, the men, black men. I see a lot of them, yo, shut your whole ass up and make some drums. I don't want to hear that.
No, that's a backfire.
Seriously, like, I apologize for that outburst. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to speak to this is my trial. This is my folks, right? I'm trying to speak to them, and I know they don't like being talked to a certain type of way because I don't like being talked to a certain type of way. You know? But the problem with y'all is y'all spreading misinformation, and then on one hand you talk about, man, we gotta be careful with this AI because it's gonna spread misinformation. Nigga, you apologize, brother. Everybody are spreading the misinformation. You're spreading it, and it might not be malicious. It's dumb.
Hashtag left behind.
I just sit this one out, Playboy. Like, you don't know nothing about them. When we are talking about carburetors, I got you.
What up, cuz?
What's up, DJ? I'm gonna give you the floor. When we talking about football, I'm gonna give you the floor. We talking about basketball, I'm gonna give you the floor. But this, y'all just looking dumb out here. And I know it ain't the majority. I know it ain't the majority.
No.
But the ones that's there are loud and ever present.
Right.
And it's annoying. At the risk of being redundant, you don't know dick about none of this shit. And you know you don't. If I was to ask you who your city councilman was, you don't know. If I asked you when was the last time you actually went in the voting booth, you probably do know that answer, and it's probably embarrassing. Or to quote Papa, embarrassing. It's been a while. Or never. Y'all don't have to talk just to see your lips flap. We don't want that from you. We want informed people to say some shit. Even if they're honestly wrong, but they're usually informed. Because somewhere along the line, we can find what tripped them up, their signal flow, so to speak. You see what part of the signal flow they got their wires crossed in, right? They know some shit. They said, got hit her with, shut up, boy. I woke up earlier than you. Yeah. For real, though. Like, you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. I ain't gonna say you dumb. I'm sure it's things that you're smart about, right? This ain't one of them. And you shouldn't feel bad about that completely because it is a lot of working parts and shit changes. See, but he gonna tell you should feel real dumb because you're an adult. You a grown-ass man in a society that pay taxes and you don't understand how the system that uses your taxes works. That's what he's about to say.
I'm not the political guru guy, right? But there are certain things that you should fucking know at your big ass age.
You big ass.
What are we talking about here?
Right. Bro.
Yes, this is a very rare moment where Tim is being more gracious than I
really am right now.
No, nigga, there are certain things that there is no excuse for you to not understand as an adult. As an adult who has been an adult longer than the amount of time that it takes a person to become an adult.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Listen, I tried to give y'all some grace, right? Some grace and some space, right? But SPJ is on one right now. Bruh. And to be honest, I can't even chastise him because he ain't wrong. You know how many times I've told motherfucker like, yo, so let me see if I get this straight. They take money out of your check before you even see it. Before they put the check in your hand, the money is gone. And you don't know nothing about what they're doing with it or
damn thing.
You don't?
Nothing.
I get you busy. There's a lot going on.
Absolutely.
But they take it. So
if you search, if you can fix that issue, like
if you go to the grocery store to buy some things and they give you the wrong change, you know how, this ain't right. So they taking your money.
Yeah, you look at the sign, it say 99 cents, but you spent $1.06. Why is that?
Why? And you know enough to know that, right? You know enough to know that, but then when it comes to this, you don't. So you feel like, and I look, brothers, seriously. I mean, I can't speak for SBJ on this part of it, but I want y'all to be better. But in lieu of being better, be silent.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if you're gonna pick between those two.
Right. Like in lieu of not looking uneducated, also don't look foolish.
Yeah.
By getting online with your whole face, which, by the way, I'm with you in the sense of this face has bad PR. They think we're dumber than what we are, more violent than what we are.
But nigga, when Jermaine Dupri mentioned that he had that Instagram live session with Roland, he couldn't help himself but to throw in a jab, talk about y'all misunderstood what I was saying. No, nigga, you misunderstood. You are the one that had a lack of understanding with the video that you posted. What the fuck do you mean? I talked to the vice president and I asked her why such and such. What do you mean? You said it already. Vice president. Vice president.
Did y'all go to?
Her job is to stay alive.
Stay alive. In case this motherfucker don't. And we narrowly escaped a situation where that could have been the case.
Right. Her job is to stay alive in case and to break ties.
Yeah. Bruh, did y'all come at Dan Quayle with this shit?
Nigga, no.
No. That's
because I promise you most of them didn't know who Dan Quayle was.
They didn't know who the fuck he was because they barely saw his ass. They couldn't pick him out of a lineup. Where's fucking Waldo?
Oh.
But again, it's whatever. Like what you like, dislike what you. But yo, above all else, refrain from looking dumb. Because there are people that judge us by our worst examples all the time.
Always.
And you sound really stupid.
It's people that judge us by our worst examples all the time, and you seem like you want to be in a rush to be judged.
Yeah, basically. Like, you're not helping. And then also, you trying to cloak it in some black stuff. Nigga, no. That ain't you. Not you. Not you. Who laugh at the hoteps. Mm-hmm. Don't cloak that in that shit. And it's not it. You're just uninformed, B. You're just
uninformed. It's hilarious.
You thinking that hilarious. Bruh, like, I didn't want to come on here and clown you. I didn't.
Yeah.
You're forcing me to, because how can I not clown you when you voluntarily put on the red rubber nose? You voluntarily slip your feet into these floppy ass shoes. You voluntarily get into the clown car of 50 other motherfuckers that think just like you.
Yeah. No, the worst thing is, I don't think I've accurately expressed the severity of what I'm upset about. It's not the people that we're talking about in general.
Right.
It's the people we're talking about specifically. You are fucking celebrities.
Bruh.
You have access. You couldn't find these things out.
And the other thing is, you have a platform where a lot of people. Which mean Al Gore isn't just a man, bear, pig guy. Listen. SBJ is correct. You have a platform and you have access. You have money. You have somebody look it up for you and give you bullet points. You can get a bullet points menu every fucking morning. You can literally hire somebody the same way the president be getting. You have like, get a bullet points memo. What's going on? Oh, all right, bet. You could literally do that. Or
that's why your dumbass got roasted so badly, because you are a celebrity.
Yeah.
Everybody saw your shit. Your dumbass shit take that you could have avoided. This was easily avoided. You told us in the video that you had the conversation with the vice president.
Oh, jeez.
You don't think that you could have had a conversation with somebody else to fix the gap in your knowledge about this particular topic?
You know what's so crazy about that too? How dumb did he look in that conversation?
Nigga!
Because if I'm just more awful with you,
that's really what happened, right? if that's really what happened.
If
you
that's
actually
really what
had a conversation with her and asked her that exact question.
You
imagine she was like, this nigga away from me.
Just and I know what I know what she was thinking. I know what she was thinking. The same thing I would have been thinking. I wouldn't have said that shit. Of course, because I don't need nobody going back talking about how rude I was in this position. But I'd have been thinking, man, if they don't get this goofy motherfucker out, you don't know shit. Now, how am I supposed to answer this goofy ass motherfucker? He's not even gonna understand the answer. That shit, chill, like seriously, chill, like y'all. Not
start out with 101. Well, Jermaine, there are 3 branches.
There are 3 branches, bro. And we ain't talking about a palm tree. What the fuck, nigga? Like, like seriously, like, so you don't know how any of this works, apparently. Any of this. You think vice president means like it's second breakfast, like in Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. That's what you think? That's what you think? Like, slow down, stop flexing, little man. You're gonna hurt yourself.
Right.
And again, Jermaine, we ain't listening to nobody that fumbled Janet Jackson. We not doing that. We not doing that. Oh, some of y'all might be a bit young and don't realize in the 90s what Janet Jackson was to a lot of us.
Right.
Only to see a troll under the bridge. Capture that.
Because he's short.
Having fall in love with him.
She said that because he's short. That's terrible.
He's ugly too. But that's you fumbled that. And we gave you props for that at first. We did. We say, what? You did that to me.
Right.
You a bad motherfucker, you are. Then you fumbled it. Twice. Like, I don't want to hear from you. That's some shit you should know this shit intimately.
Yeah.
Now you go on here talking about shit you don't know intimately, like politics, the system, which some shit that you should know a lot better than you do. You grown ass motherfucker that made all this money in music and got to pay taxes. What the fuck is? Let me just relax. Set this one out, B. You got a big platform. Right. People are going to listen to you because the difference between you and the people that listen to you is a lot of them are just like you, so they don't have the money or the access. They are uninformed as well. They don't know much about shit. They're angry, and in a lot of cases, they got a good reason to be angry, but they don't even know who to be angry at.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you, one of the proud members of the Know Nothing Party, obviously, get up there with the whole arrogant sneer, with the confidence, that's one of the key things. To be wrong and confidently wrong is what be confusing people who don't already understand most of that topic. And they see that look of confidence on your face while you up there saying the wrongest shit ever. Right? What's up, sis? Like the wrongest shit ever.
Bro.
And that's why, look, I'm just asking.
All our parts.
He's telling you. I'm asking you. I know the roles have reversed. Sit this one out, Playboy. Sit this one out. Please. Don't you got a game on your phone you could be playing right now?
Nigga.
Don't you got a fidget spinner or some shit you can?
Don't you got an artist you need to executive produce or something?
Bruh!
Don't you stand up you need to write for?
Again, like, you got something else to do other than get on here and make an absolute spectacle of yourself.
Because, nigga, I'm not as mad as at the regular everyday.
Me either.
Show.
Me either.
Because it is absolutely possible. I ain't gonna hold you. Civics, American history, U.S. history, all that shit was boring to me. Right. So I ain't mad at nobody else that felt that way.
Right.
Has just managed to live their life, make the living that they can off of whatever the skill is that they decide.
Exactly.
I ain't mad at you.
Prioritize your happiness.
Yes, there are things that you need to learn, that you should learn, that you should know. Yeah. But you're still the everyday average Joe. So I understand
you're a ham and egger
situations where you
shout out to Bobby Heenan. You're a ham and egger.
When you reach a wall that you don't understand that there's a doorknob there. Right. I get that. Right. But when you have reached the plateaus of the zeitgeist of American culture, and you want to brag, because that's what the fuck it was.
Yeah, it was a
he
humble
needed
brag.
a little humble brag about having access to the vice president of the United States. Was. All right, cool. Since you have that access, and the way that the interaction between Jermaine and Roland went on Twitter shows me that y'all have some type of rapport.
Right.
Why you, and that's exactly what Roland said. I think that's what started the whole thing. After the video, he was like, I wish you would have come to me and asked me this.
The fact that you have access to Roland Martin,
right,
who is a repository of facts, factoids, and did not consult him,
right,
with ask him, yo, you realize that before debates, these motherfuckers actually practice it. I know sometimes it don't look like it when they get up that motherfucker, right?
Right,
I get that, but they try to practice before they get up there. Before you got up there to have access to anybody in high office. Yeah, you have money and access to people who are more knowledgeable than you. You should consult them or give him your ticket.
Hey,
or give him your ticket.
Hey,
that's probably true too. GA being hustled for a donation, and when you don't know shit, you're easier to be hustled. That's right. Set this out. Yeah. We don't want to hear from you. Right. And if it was just one of you, that'd be bad. But it's getting to be a multitude of you fucking dick snots. Yeah. Y'all motherfuckers gotta sit this out because you don't know shit. And my thing is, you're not interested enough to know. And the reason I know you're not interested enough to know for real is because midterms be coming and going, and I don't be hearing nothing from y'all. Ever. I don't be hearing nothing from you as if you don't, which shows me you don't know how important the midterms are.
Right.
You don't know because you don't know how the system works. You don't realize y'all. The problem with y'all is y'all keep thinking that a president is a king, and despite the Supreme Court's attempt to make the president a king, he is not a king. Y'all keep thinking that, so you think that when he or she gets in the office,
that's it.
All he got to do is go wave his hands. And everything that you ever dreamed of can come true. That's not how that fucking works. And if you knew how the system worked, you would know that you don't just spend your time focused on who the fuck gets the big chair. It's a bunch of little chairs out there you need to worry about too.
But I just want to be clear. It's not even knowing how the system works because you don't need to know the intricacies.
True.
You just need to know the bare basics.
But that is the bare basics, right? The president needs help. He needs help to get the shit.
Checks you know what?
Football.
Just look up checks and balances.
nigga. Yo, it's football. He need a team. It's a team. He the quarterback, but
yeah. You're asking people to understand the importance of midterms that probably never had to worry about midterms in their life.
Yeah, that's probably true too. Or didn't know they had to. They didn't know they had to. They didn't know that the very thing, when y'all start bitching and complaining about certain things that didn't take place in the economy and blah, 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 this, that, and other, you realize how much Congress has to do with that shit. You do realize that, right? With the bills that get passed on the floor, the stuff, the budget. What they decide to spend money on is a direct reflection of the morality of the country.
Right.
But you don't need to know all that.
Yeah.
You just need to know. If you don't know, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And listen. If you're interested. If you're not, continue to do what you do. Ain't there a yacht party or a white party? Did he say he was doing a party? I'm asking.
Mike says that's why I hate current U.S. politics because the media hypes up the president's election.
Yes.
But then all these gubernatorial elections, senators, representative, and to Stillman his point. I live in Maryland. Where the former governor of Maryland is running for Senate.
He sure is.
I see exponentially less about that than I do about the presidential election.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Exponentially less.
It's absurd. It's absurd. It's absurd. It's absurd. Like, seriously, fellas. Not for nothing. You're dumb. And it's fine. That's fine. We can't all be Einsteins. I'm certainly not.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But we can't all be GAs. You know what I'm saying? We got like but yo, know your role.
Yo.
Pass the line. What did you run? Yo, listen. I want. We need you to either read more or talk about the shit you know. Like, do that. Like, yo, I'm sure it's a lot of us interested in Jermaine Dupri's ideas about music, about marketing, about how to break a new artist, production. I'm interested. I'd listen to that. You do a part. If Jermaine Dupri did a podcast where he talked about that, I would listen to that. You know what I'm not coming to you for though? That other shit. And they shouldn't even let you in the same room with her.
Nigga.
They should have asked you. You are? Yeah, I know. We know who you are, but why are you here? Why are you here?
Right.
We never hear from you. Nobody. Don't you a little bit out of your area? Like, this ain't
right.
Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, yo, you can 100% be looked at as the brilliant motherfucker you are if you stay in your fucking lane. Because here's the thing. Everybody can't be a multiple lane person. You know what a multiple lane person actually will do? The work to be a multiple lane person. They will do the work. They're like, yo, I want to know about this shit. Let me read about this shit. Fuck is motherfuckers talking about? Just a real local example of that, right? I rap. SPJ raps. We wanted to know about photography. So we went and learned photography. We wanted to learn about videography. So we went and learned videography. Not only did we go and learn this shit, it wasn't just a thing of us watching some YouTube videos, reading some PDFs, some shit like that. We went out there. We shot commercials. We shot models. We shot product placement stuff. All kinds of shit. So that when we talk about photography and videography, you know what the fuck we're talking about because we actually engaged in it. That's something that was a completely other lane. Yeah. Other lane than what we typically do. Sure. Again, it took work to do too. Work. And I understand that shit. Some of y'all feel like work is your mother and you promise not to hit her. I get that shit. I get it. But then you need to stay true to that and start speaking on shit you don't fucking know about. Because that shit's annoying and it's also dangerous. It's dangerous because, especially when you are, just like you said earlier, a Jermaine Dupri who has a huge platform. A lot of people listen to you. It is dangerous for you to go out there speaking on shit you don't know because the rubes, the sheep, the lemmings who aren't going to check any of that shit will listen to you and then go off of that and make decisions based off of that. Like, stop. And after this, I don't want to talk about that with you no more.
Right.
Because there's other things you should be doing. Like sending that apology note to Janet Jackson for that bullshit you did.
Okay. All right.
He fumbled. Yes,
no, I get no. Okay. All right. So
how you kicked out of Rhythm Nation?
Bro, shut up. Shut up. Stop.
It's crazy.
So in conclusion, stop.
I'm done.
Stop that shit.
He's cut it out.
Yeah. So speaking of people talking about shit they don't know what they talking about. So for those who don't know who Keith Lee is, he is a TikTok influencer who happens to do food reviews, right? Let me just get into these articles first. I'm not even going to preface the articles. I'm just going to read these articles.
Okay. Sounds
Here's the backlash surrounding Keith Lee and the DMV deserve. While Lee's tour of the DC region has generated a lot of excitement, there has been some backlash against some of his recent posts.
Has it?
TikTok influencer and food critic Keith Lee has been making a lot of waves during his recent trip to the DC region. The 27-year-old Lee has more than 16 million followers on TikTok and 2 million on Instagram. He has risen to prominence since he began posting videos in 2020. The videos are geared towards spotlighting small businesses, restaurants, and mom-and-pop shops that have good food but struggle when it comes to marketing and getting the word out. In his recent food tour of the DMV, posted videos from Okonami Asian Grill, Flavor Hive Food Truck, Dukum Ethiopian Restaurant, Kane in Hong Kong Delight Carryout. Lee has helped the restaurants he's visited by getting the word out to his followers and by leaving big tips for the workers behind the counters. He left a $2,000 tip at Okonami, a recent victim of DoorDash scams, but some of his comments about the DMV have drawn ire from the food scene itself. Oh, you're the best. Thank you, darling. Of course.
So he tried not to put it on camera. He tried not to put it on camera, but that motherfucker got food.
Put what on camera? So some of his comments about the DMV draw ire from the food scene itself. In his post about Kane, Lee made a comment that DC's restaurants are, quote, geared toward alcohol, end quote, and he doesn't drink. Quote, if you drink, it seems like if you don't drink, it seems like it's slim pickings. Users on Reddit and elsewhere have said they don't understand the statement. Lee also got some heat for not going to some of the district's more well-known establishments. Fans are quick to point out that he didn't build his following by going to a city's most popular culinary destination. Quote, it's less about actually reviewing food and more so about supporting and promoting local businesses his audience recommends, one Reddit user said. It's very cool. He uses the money he makes and gives it back to the businesses and community. He mostly goes to places that are having trouble getting business. People avoid these places and think they are struggling for a reason. He tries the place and puts the word out if they're worth trying. People are always looking for new things to try, but are generally unwilling to go first. Steve takes care of that part. DC is not really a good place for his style of review. We're already very good at word of mouth. Just think about how Roman Rooster got popular, for example, end quote. In his most recent video post, he admits that he and his team visited about a dozen restaurants while in. All right, at this point, this article has been doing a good job of defining locations.
Yes.
This is the first time they fuck up. It says he admits that he and his team visited about a dozen restaurants while in the DMV, but didn't post about them. No, that wasn't the DMV. That was strictly DC that he was talking about in this video.
Yeah.
But did not post about them because they weren't constructive. He did not name the restaurants he visited, but noted some disappointing experiences. Keith Lee's video may have. God damn it, hold up. This video is playing. Let me go ahead and mute this. All right. While these videos may have stirred the pot of the DMV food scene, they may have also started a larger culinary conversation around DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Again, that video was only about DC.
Yeah.
More people were jumping on the platform to share their favorite spots.
That's very telling, though, bro. Don't you think? Like the fact that they keep referring to it as the DMV, it's very telling about what people think about the area, right? It's very telling.
So basically, that's the end of the article. So basically, he did a video, and he had a food tour in Atlanta, and there was these two restaurants that he came across. He wasn't feeling. He did those videos because one of his things is authenticity.
Facts.
They were negative reviews. The whole backlash came.
I remember that.
So, what it seems is he's trying to avoid that whole thing, and he said, "Listen, because when they do their food tours, it's 7 videos, 15 videos. Like they go to a bunch of different spots. So he was letting people know, like, look, I've been to a bunch more places in DC, and I did not do videos on them because the videos wouldn't have been constructed. Right. And then he gave clips of some of the videos that did not expose what the restaurant was. He mentioned a couple restaurants that he didn't even go to because he saw pictures of the food and it didn't look appetizing.
Ooh.
So that moves us to this next article. Fucking people. Now, clearly, this is just a bid for attention. What I'm about to tell you all about, but still. So, Keith Lee, 27, is facing threats from a local after his latest food tour left locals in an uproar. The popular food critic traveled to the DMV area for his latest taste testings, but his negative reactions to some of the local establishments angered residents. After stopping by a dozen restaurants during his trip, Lee opted to scrap many of his video reviews due to poor customer service and bad recommendations. He explained, quote, "We made a decision as a family and a team, and also a personal decision to not post most of them." The Las Vegas-based internet personality continued, "Out of those 12, I probably only have one or two more that I will post. The reason for that, a lot of those videos, in my opinion, aren't constructive at all. Washington, D.C. native and rapper Ant Glizzy took offense to Lee's unfavorable critiques of his hometown's cuisine, and he seemed to threaten the former mixed martial artist online." I'm so glad how they made
I'm glad they did that too. Broham. I'm not saying you can't scrap. That might be some scrap in you. Maybe you grew up scrapping. It's a different scrap with a mixed martial.
It's a different scrap.
It's a different
scrap. Quote, "Tell Keith Lee show his location when he comes back. I'm gonna review his life." First of all,
that is funny as shit. I ain't gonna hold you. That's funny, but it also gonna be kind of seen as a threat. But
yes, nigga,
sir, don't swing on that, man, sir.
No, please don't.
When you show, if he does give that location and you show up, offer him a drink, say, "I disagree with do that. Do that. That other shit, nah."
And the way Keith Lee talks about people like this in general, it's kind of cold. He'd be like, "Listen, I'm just a regular guy, but I will defend my family." And I'm like, "Oh, I know what that means."
Niggas say that. Listen, when niggas say that,
I know what that means. So, while some users liked Ant Glizzy's comments, other users blasted him for targeting Lee. For example, one person shot back, "Why y'all mad because the food was nasty?"
Oh.
Another person replied, "This might be the top 3 corniest shit I've seen on this app. Crashing out over another man's taste buds is crazy.
It's crazy.
Besides, he'll probably beat your ass." Ant Glizzy did not stop with one tweet directed at Lee over his remarks about DMV restaurants. Blah, blah, blah. He sent another round of attacks. In addition, he shared footage of Lee losing to Jordan Lugo at the Bellator 65 event in August 2021. Wait. This caption read, "Keith Lee, rate this ass whipping 1 out of 10. Somebody said back to him, "He got choked out by a professional fighter. Yet here you are getting knocked out by a bum."
Oh, and they posted a picture of him getting knocked out by a bum.
Posted the video. Video.
So for Ant Glizzy. Or is it Aunt Glizzy? I don't know. Ant Glizzy, listen. Like, you not ready for none of that. You can't joke on a man who lost to another professionally trained athlete, trained in fisticuffs. You can't laugh at him when you got Molly Wop by Tyrone and shit. Pookie beat your ass there. What the fuck?
You said, boy, you got your ass knocked out. You fight like a little girl. Somebody else said, yo, he got cooked by a professional fighter. Yeah, here you are getting knocked the fuck out by a bum. Somebody else said, now what this guy do with your nasty ass food? What? Hank Lizzie spoke about the boxing match against Davey Ruffin during the 2023 interview with Say Cheese. After initially acknowledging Ruffin beat him in the match, Lizzie said, I won the fight. My plan was to go there and take a knee and just get the $20,000. You didn't win the fight. You got knocked out, nigga.
You got knocked out, yo. And you don't see, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that, yo. We're not doing that. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. If you get knocked out, you ain't set up nothing.
Wait. To be clear, because I don't know if that landed for everybody listening. His point was that he wasn't trying. He had planned to just go just for the money. That's why he won. No.
I don't know a single motherfucker that wants to get knocked out.
Getting brain damage is not winning.
Bruh? What? Nope. Yo, no, nigga. You didn't. I don't want to hear that. No, you got beat the fuck up. Stop. We're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. You got beat the fuck up. Period. Let's stop it. Stop the cap. But I swear they cap on that app, yo. Yo.
Then this nigga made a whole 11-minute video about Keith Lee's video that he said he wasn't posting all of the videos. And one of the biggest points that he tried to focus on, he tried to call Keith Lee fake because he said, look, the picture that he showed of this restaurant is a picture that you can find on Google. He didn't even go. So he's making it up shit about saying he didn't go. Yo, in the Keith Lee's video, he said, we did not go to this restaurant because we saw the pictures and it did not look appealing.
Remember earlier,
you have an entire point for your 11-minute video, and there is no point.
Yo, remember earlier in the show when I was saying, "Shut the fuck up." Stop. This is one of them times. This is one of them fucking times. Yeah, I landed more hit. Yo, you got knocked the fuck. If you hit me 15 times and I don't go down and I only get 2 off.
Right.
You got get you a 2-piece and you go down and then you're straight up, don't wake me. I'm dead. Yo, you lost, nigga. You lost.
So the restaurant in question here's another thing I would never have done. The restaurant in question came forward and admitted that was their food, right?
Yeah, they shouldn't have did that.
Right, because he purposely didn't name them. So they said, quote, those pictures are from our reviews. As far as the red plate, I posted the picture on our Instagram and said, this is how the chef eats when we don't know what to eat. We definitely don't serve our food on plates. The other plate is ours as well, but we have over 500 better pictures he could have chosen from. So I will never deny those are our pictures. Because of who he is, it's not a fair representation of us or what we do and what we offer. Here's the problem with that statement.
He shouldn't have had access.
That's the picture that shows up on your marketing.
That's it right there. He shouldn't even have had access to that picture. That's on y'all. That's on y'all. That's your marketing. Y'all did that.
So after they after they said what they said, Keith Lee made a post. He says, we were invited to Soul Wings DC through an IG post. We looked them up on Google, and those photos that I posted were some of the first ones to pop up, which are public to every other customer.
Yep.
I made a compilation of our experience for the entire tour, hiding all identities out of respect. For this specific restaurant, based on the food that we saw, I stated I wasn't the target audience and chose against going to the restaurant, meaning I never went, even though I was asked to come and give my opinion on their marketing, their food, and their customer service.
Yo,
I mentioned those photos.
How did you?
I mentioned those photos because even though we didn't make it there, it was still a part of our experience for the tour. and I have always said I will be 100% honest. In my opinion, other potential customers can see those same photos and could potentially be deterred from trying your restaurant, which falls under a marketing issue.
He helped you.
As you stated, that doesn't represent the food you serve. So if reaching a new audience is a goal, I would personally look at removing any photos that does not represent your business to your standards.
He helped you.
To this day, I have no ill intention towards you or your business. It's all love from my family to yours. Thank you for the invite.
But wait a minute. He helped you.
Yes.
He didn't name your thing.
No.
He brought it to the attention. Hey, y'all, fix that.
Right.
Fix that.
Then he says, I don't condone giving 1-star reviews to any restaurant without trying it yourself. I've always said that, and I mean it. And I'll say it again to clear any confusion. So, yeah, I don't. Anyway, so just like with when the whole backlash of the Atlanta tour happened, it's a bunch of niggas from DC on Twitter that's mad.
How mad are they?
Oh, nigga. So this happened with the Atlanta thing, but two things. I've been to Atlanta once. Mm-hmm. I didn't go check out the food scene. And also,
I've been to Atlanta once.
I have no connection. I have no connection with even geographical. Like, I have no connection with Atlanta niggas.
Right.
This is a little bit of a different story. Just a little bit of a different story. Especially if you want to say the DMV.
We've been to DC a lot of times.
You've been to DC. You've been to the DMV. I went to College Park. So
I live in the DMV area now.
Right. So, and then on top of that, there are people who I follow who live in DC or who live in the DMV. And
I dated women from the
nigga. Yeah, same. So I have a little bit more of a connection to what's going on there. So one thing that was going on then, that's also going on now, is this claim about Keith Lee. Let's read this one argument. I like Keith Lee, but I think people take his opinions too personal. I agree with that 100%.
I agree with that too. I agree with
1,000%. Yes. Because what he eat don't make you shit.
Yeah, you might actually like the shit he said he didn't.
Right.
For instance, that food that you just took a bite of right there, like that shit, Keith Lee might not like it, but
he would like this. No, he like this.
You seem to be over there enjoying it, immensely. You know what I'm saying? So.
Shout out to my lovely girlfriend. He's a Midwest man, but that is allergic to seafood. Number one, that's not true, but we're gonna get to that. He's a Midwest man that is allergic to seafood and is an extremely picky eater with a very simple palate. Consider the source and enjoy the show without the think pieces. Now, let's get into this. Number one, that man is an extremely picky eater who is allergic to seafood, is what she said. First of all, seafood, he has a shellfish allergy, not a seafood allergy. They are not the same thing. I understand that some of y'all don't know what words mean and don't know what distinctions are.
Ain't got no problem speaking on it though in public.
Got no problem speaking on it. He does not have a seafood allergy. So let's talk about this, because this is the big thing I keep seeing from people who be mad at him. He has a simple palate. Or it's two things that they say. No, 3 things.
Oh no, so assy.
Oh, and you know what? No. That's the hilarious part. That is the exact sentiment. That's the exact sentiment. I promise you. I know you're joking. I promise you that's what they would say if they hear somebody say that. I promise you. 3 things that get thrown at him.
He seafood and he ate it.
He has a limited palate. He has an unsophisticated palate. And he has a simple palate. Those are the 3 words. And I think...
Hold up for a second. It just struck me that I can almost guarantee you that all of these motherfuckers that are saying
they don't know what the fuck
they don't know what the fuck those
things
things
no
are.
idea.
They've heard those things from other.
Number one, these aren't necessarily the same thing, but they conflate them because the word in front of it, the adjective, kind of is similar. No. All right, so let's go through. Let's go through what these mean. What does it mean to have a limited palate? Having a limited palate means having a narrower range of tastes or preferences when it comes to food. People with a limited palate might only enjoy certain types of flavors, textures, or foods, and may be less adventurous in trying new or diverse dishes. This can result from various factors, including personal preference, upbringing, or even certain dietary restrictions. Right. People with a limited palate might find many foods unappealing or be more sensitive to strong or unfamiliar tastes. What does it mean to have a sophisticated palate? Having a sophisticated palate means possessing a refined and well-developed sense of taste that can appreciate a wide variety of flavors, textures, and culinary techniques. People with a sophisticated palate are often able to discern subtle differences in taste, quality, and preparation, and they tend to enjoy complex or gourmet foods. They are typically more adventurous in trying new dishes and can appreciate the nuances in ingredients and seasoning that less experienced eaters might overlook. What does it mean to have a simple palate? Having a simple palate means preferring straightforward, familiar flavors and foods without a lot of complexity or variety. People with a simple palate tend to enjoy basic comfort foods and might shy away from dishes with bold, spicy, or unusual flavors. They often favor foods with minimal seasoning and might not appreciate or seek out gourmet or exotic cuisine. A simple palate is typically satisfied with classic, uncomplicated meals that don't challenge their taste preferences too much. Now,
that's me most of the time.
Out of these 3 things, because I define sophisticated instead of unsophisticated, but everybody listening here can connect the dots. Right. Out of these 3 definitions, the guy who puts in his videos, I'm a texture guy. The guy that puts in his videos, the very specific different seasonings that he tastes. The guy that puts in his videos the complexity. Oh, this was really seasoned well. Which one do you think he fits into?
Yo, and this
now, to be clear, without knowing him personally, is there a way that you can guarantee? No. But given what he presents to you, his palate is rather sophisticated.
And also, if you cannot say that he has a sophisticated palate for sure,
right?
You also cannot say he has a simple or limited palate. And y'all motherfuckers heard that shit from either watching some of these chef shows where they take these cooking shows where they have literally taken action adventure music and place it on cooking. Like, and I told everybody one of these days I was going to do that with cutting the grass. I was going to put this action adventure music with these cuts and shit like that, and it'll seem like end game and shit, cutting the grass. That's what they've been doing with these cooking shows. But whatever the case is, y'all heard that from there. Y'all heard that from Chef Ramsay or some shit. Y'all don't know anything about what you're talking about.
For the people who are saying he has an unsophisticated palate or a, what's the other one specifically, or a simple palate, y'all don't watch his videos, clearly, because it's the proof is there.
Right.
For those who are saying he has a limited palate, these are dishes that he's given a 9 or above to. We're not even going down to 8.
Right.
Because if he went down to 8, there would be no argument at all. But he's given a 9 or above to. Philly cheesesteak, sweet potato pie, birria bao bun tacos, a quattro sandwich, which is thicker cuts of steak. It got chimichurri, it got all that type of stuff. Beef short ribs in a mole sauce. I promise you, 9 out of 10 of you motherfuckers that are making this claim have never tasted a mole sauce. Various different burgers, soul food, catfish. Catfish is often in his higher reviews, but he has a seafood allergy.
Right.
Wagyu empanadas, orange chicken platters, different foods from African cuisine to Hawaiian cuisine.
Shit that you motherfuckers haven't eaten, and you know you haven't.
Tasted.
And you know you haven't.
Bulgogi, different. I can't even remember all the different shit that he tries in his video. Y'all
made yourselves look like a bunch of jackasses because I
don't know what the fuck y'all talking about.
And all of you ain't traveled to these places to eat any of this shit or even gone to the restaurants to serve the shit. Stop the cat. They be capping on that app hard as shit, yo.
Right. I hate these dumbass motherfuckers that try to act like. Because another thing the girl that I was referencing, another thing she said was, the DMV area is a coastal area, so it's a lot of seafood, and that's what, nigga. Is there seafood? Of course there's seafood because it is a coastal area. However,
everybody don't season their seafood the same way. Just because you're a coastal city. I went and ate seafood out of Seattle. It bared no resemblance to the seafood we have in Maryland.
You want to talk about seafood? He seemed to have a good time in New Orleans.
Well, his simple palate could. Oh wait, no, wait, that's not how that.
There was no backlash from his New Orleans store.
Of course not. Yo, he said that. Yo,
that's shit. What are we talking about? I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. And this is why I shudder away from people who try to call me a chef.
Right.
Because I understand
I get it.
The various levels and the differences. And I understand how much the average motherfucker has no idea what they're talking about.
Yo, you also have a sense of proportion. So earlier we were talking about motherfuckers with the sneering arrogance about shit they don't, and they know they don't know a lot about that. So it stands to reason why you would say what you say and have an honest assessment about your skills because you understand the levels, and these people don't. But nothing stops them. Nothing stops from pontificating on shit they absolutely have no clue about, or they heard someplace else, and now they added it to their vocabulary without even understanding what that shit is, and it's embarrassing.
Nigga. So
sit this one out, Playboy. Sit this one out.
She tried to use as proof that he has a limited palate.
Based on what?
She did a Google. Matter of fact, I'll read it. She said, when I searched Keith Lee Las Vegas food on TikTok, this is the bullet point breakdown that came up. I don't see anything on here that's far out of his usual food choices, and that's not a dig. Number one, he lives in Las Vegas.
Number two,
that's where he fucking lives.
Number two, it is a dig. So we're not gonna act like it's not when it is. It's a dig, big.
Like what we're talking about here. And on top of that, what people don't notice is that the vast majority, not all, because I saw somebody that was trying to argue against him, and when people were telling him that he takes recommendations, she picked a video, a very specific video, and was like, see, he said nobody recommended this one to. No shit. No, not all, but the vast majority of his videos that he goes to places that other people recommend he go to.
Oh man. Like
either that other people recommend he go to or the owners themselves reach out to him. That is the vast majority of places that he goes to. So he can't help it if the vast majority of places that he goes to or the vast majority of owners that reach out to him happen to be like, for instance, soul food.
Right.
He can't fucking help that. Right. If somebody else, he's reviewed different countries, African cuisine, Hawaiian cuisine, different countries, Asian cuisine, all type. Like, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Y'all have no clue what you're talking about. You just want to critique someone.
That's it. And honestly, so I can tell a lot about a person by their willingness or unwillingness to say they don't know.
Nigga.
Right? Like, I get y'all mad. But may I just say, most of the people that commented don't own any of those restaurants he critiqued. They're not family.
Right.
You don't get any money off of it. The only reason you're reacting to it that way is because they were restaurants in your area. And you feel somehow that you must defend those restaurants.
Right.
And I'm here to tell you right now, you don't have to do shit, because someone going into a restaurant, having their own personal experience and talking about it has no impact or import on you. Y'all gotta relax.
Yeah. And
y'all really gotta relax.
As the thread goes on, different people are trying to tell her, like, you're incorrect about what you're saying. And as it goes down, she keeps backtracking. So somebody posted a list of different videos and said, he's tried plenty of different cultures. This website has more information about the different types of restaurants he's been to, and put a link. And her response is, again, I never say he's never tried anything out of his usual foods. I said that's not what he usually eats or is known for trying. He himself has said he was a picky eater. There's nothing wrong with that. Man.
Hold up. How does picky eater match with simple palate?
Right. They aren't the same thing, and she thinks they are. And that's the point that I'm making. You do not know what you're talking about. So somebody finally says to her, I think what people are trying to clarify to you is that it's not him being a usual picky eater that has limited the types of food he reviews most often. He's down for whatever. It's just that the small businesses recommended to him usually lean towards soul food.
Yeah.
And I said, very much this. It seems she's committed to misunderstanding. Also, shellfish is what he's allergic to, not seafood.
That whole committed to misunderstanding thing, that's a phrase Graydon loves to use when he talks about certain, because he's right. There are some people that are committed to misunderstand you because they have a certain point of view or agenda, and that they prioritize over the facts.
Right.
What's actually there is getting that off. They try and get that off, right? And it's embarrassing, especially the double down. Like that double down shit is ridiculous. Like when a motherfucker has clearly cleared you, you were cleared. All right, just stop it. That double down, you just look dumber and dumber. It's bad enough that your credibility took a hit on that topic from the beginning. But then when you continue to double down, you continue to lose hit points, right?
Yeah, this assertion is preposterous, because it would be one thing. I would allow you to have an argument if the pushback against you was just that he does try other foods.
Right.
If not that he just tries other foods, he rates them highly.
Right. Yeah.
He wouldn't rate it highly if he didn't like it.
Right.
Like, what are we talking about here?
Well, we're talking about, once again, people talking out of their ass. That's what and then wrapping their identity up into their bad opinion. That's the other thing too. That's why they feel like they got to defend it for as long as they do, when you could just like shut the fuck up or admit you were wrong. Yo, you know that I've seen motherfuckers, I know it's rare, but I've seen motherfuckers admit that they were wrong on the thread before and got mad props for that. You should not getting mad props for admitting you're wrong, but because it's so rare and because so few people do that shit, when someone does it, it catches motherfuckers off guard. Like, what the fuck?
Oh shit.
Damn. I don't know what to say now except for congrats. What the fuck? Congrats.
Yo, that's my thing. Like, there are some people, there is a place for those people, right? Who coddle people in order to get the result that they want.
Right.
I agree with it, but I understand why you do it.
Right.
And there's a thing about it that is probably necessary in this time and age that we live in. I don't believe in participation awards, but that's me.
Right.
Right. So those people on those threads that's like, you were able to admit you were wrong. Good job, man.
Good for you.
But I understand
Yeah.
the idea is, if you show people that that's okay and that that's acceptable, they're more willing to continue that behavior. I get it. It's just
right.
I can't.
This right here, he says they think if they admit they are wrong, that people will think they have been wrong by everything else they have said. No, see, this is the thing, and I'm sure that's what they think, but that's not true. Me, that shows you are an honest broker. Like I can have a conversation with you, or you come and tell me something because you are willing to admit that you were wrong. So I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt when you say certain shit to me. Of course, I'm always going to check, but it's not just because you were wrong one time. We're all wrong about some shit at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not because that, it's because you were willing to admit it. And it's so rare publicly for motherfuckers to admit that shit that you have gained my respect. I've said this many times before. My credibility means more to me than my opinion.
Yeah.
I would like for motherfuckers to think that when they speak to me and when I tell them some shit, it's a better than average chance of that being true. And if it's not true, it's not because I was being willfully ignorant or I didn't I was trying to deceive or whatever. Right? I honestly got it wrong.
Yeah.
Right? I respect somebody that can honestly get something wrong and then admit, oh damn, yeah, I fucked that up because I ain't even look at the such and such. I respect that. Listen, this nigga over here is a know-it-all, and he's quick to tell you, I don't know shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And he's a know-it-all. All right? if this motherfucker can, you know how many times I'm like, I know he'd answer. He show answer, man. I don't know. What? Here's
the thing. It's something I kind of been hesitating to talk about for a long time.
Right.
So this is what happened. This is how I've achieved that place. Because I'm not gonna call it good or bad.
Right.
That's how I achieved that outlook on life.
Right.
I before I did some thought into it, I thought this was the best thing that a person could ever do. My mother, when I was young, I don't know, was just as bad as cursing when I was younger. She did not accept I don't know. So because of that, I did a lot of work through finding out what a thing was, what a thing meant, especially when it had to do with myself.
Right.
So why'd you do this? I don't know was not even the furthest thing from my mind was I don't know. And what that forced me to do at that point in time was to slow down, actually think about what was going on. But at a certain point, and I don't think this is her fault, at a certain point, that kind of turned me into one of those, actually.
One of the
guys. Yeah. And once I realized that was happening, I was like, nah, B, this can't stand. This can't stand. What I need to do is combine the two. I need to make sure that I'm as knowledgeable about a particular thing as I can be, while also not being condescending and not overexerting where my level of knowledge actually reaches.
Right.
So since that has happened, it's been like, oh no, I'm quick to tell you I don't know if I don't know. I like to the point where I get fussed at about it sometimes, and then sometimes people don't believe me, and I don't know what to tell you. If I don't know, I don't know. I'm not saying it's impossible for me to find out the answer.
We live in the information age. Stop it.
Yeah.
But again, like it is one of these things where like there's a certain amount of responsibility that I don't want to shoulder.
Hey, God.
Of the motherfucker to know everything. No, because look, there's a reason why one of the catchphrases on this show has always been, if you walk inside of a room and we're the smartest ones there, leave.
Please.
Get the fuck out. Please. Get the fuck out for your own sake, right? The reason for that, because there is a certain amount of humility. This saying, I'm probably going to butcher it, but there's a saying that says something to the effect of, you have learned a lot when you realize you have still more left to learn, right? There is like a bunch of shit out here. And look, I'm quick to say, excuse me, I am a man of average intelligence with above average interest.
Yes.
I'm interested in some of these things, some of these high-minded things, but I have above average intelligence, so there is a limit, right?
Right.
To how much of that shit I am going to understand, right?
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of times I try to break some of the more high-minded concepts into these small bite-sized pieces that I can absorb, and go, okay, I got somewhat of an understanding of the shit right there. I love to discuss it, all of that.
See, this is the exact shit I'm talking about. This is the other side that I didn't mention. Chrissy said, I was about to say, you always saying, I don't know. Here's the thing. The reason is because of the other side. People start to, ask you questions that there's no way, like, unfortunately, my significant other has this habit. My mother has this habit of asking me questions that there's no way that I could possibly have the answer. And it's like, how am I supposed to know this thing? I have never experienced this before. Right. I have never experienced this before. Why are you asking me? There's nothing I can do to help. I cannot be of service to you for this particular thing.
There was one. I was at one job in particular. I worked there for like maybe it could have been 7 years, where I was that guy, and I hated it simply because I knew some things about some stuff that they didn't think about, wasn't part of their ordinary conversation. Right. So when he did have that conversation, I knew some shit, and next thing you know, no. Right. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I am like you.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know about this shit.
Now, I don't personally have a history of being bullied in school, man.
Me either.
I wasn't a nigga doing niggas' homework for them. So that shit not about to start now. No, that's different. See, that's different. There's a difference between, like, there's a thin line between deference and relying on someone.
Yes.
Deference and over reliance are cousins, for real. Because you deferring to me, cool, because you know that I have. Deferring to me comes from you knowing that I have a background or experience in a thing, right, and deciding that because I am a human, I can probably explain this shit to you better than whatever other source you go to try to figure it out.
Right.
That's the deference part. The over reliance part is, I just told you I have no experience with this thing, but you still ask. My mother, oh my goodness. That was the last time me and my mother went back and forth. It was a text. I don't even remember what it was we were talking about. But the first question she asked me, I responded to her. It was about some damn hot-spots.
Oh, shit.
And it's like, I've never had a hotspot in my life.
Keep going. I can hear you.
I've never had a hotspot in my life. I've never really used one. I don't know anything about them. And she asked me another question about them. And I'm like, I just told you I have no experience with this thing. Why are you continuing to ask me? Like, that doesn't make sense. I just told you I don't know. I don't know. And you asking me a different way is not going to get me to know. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I don't have the experience in this particular situation. And I'm not the person that's going to be like, hold up, let me check. That's why I'll give you a great example that y'all can see in real time if y'all ever actually pay attention to my Facebook. Just Chris and Aaron all the time. all the time. Whenever something, more so just Chris. Aaron is a little more in tune to it. But just Chris will all the time. Whenever something new that's geek related comes out or is newsworthy or whatever the case may be, whenever something comes out about it, he will make a post on Facebook and tag me and ask me if it's true or ask me what I know about it or whatever the case may be. I've gotten to a point where instead of just answering him outright, I will go do the research for you. I will go find a link that will properly explain to you what is happening, and I will just paste that link. Because I'm not going to do all of your work for you. That is not helpful. That doesn't help you. So, what is the last thing? I don't remember the last thing, but one of the examples is like, there was a rumor that there was going to be a Breaking Bad continuation movie or some shit like that. And I think it was going to be a Heisenberg movie or some shit like that. And he posted it and he was excited about it. And I just simply went to Snopes, got the link, and sent him the link. Because it's like, you could have looked this up. You could have found this as easy, not as easy because you probably don't know what Snopes is. So cool. But if you would have Googled, is this really happening?
Do your Google.
You would have got your answer. Right. Like, so that's the biggest example that anybody.
I've actually seen that though. I see that all the time on the timeline. I see it all the time. But you know what? Like that used to happen to me, but it was my fault. Mm-hmm. Because I am a comic geek. Right?
Yeah. Right.
I know about that shit. I would have people, yo, when you going to see such and such? Like my cousin used to say all the time, when you going to see such and such? I'm trying to go because I know you can pick up all of the Easter eggs and shit.
It is not my job to do that labor for you.
It really isn't. It's it's fun.
How am I into it?
But if I do you, now it's work.
Right. Now it's work. I'm supposed to be able to enjoy my shit. Like, let me enjoy it.
Right.
You can go watch it separately and we can have a conversation later.
You wouldn't be wrong, Ogma. You wouldn't be wrong. At least a percentage of them times.
Yeah, a good percentage of the time. But yeah, like we can watch it. We can go watch it separately. That's why I don't like, to this day, I do not like watching like MCU movies in groups. Like, yeah, I hate it with a passion.
I love watching it with my family because they know,
right?
Around, so
and there are times when like people,
you see what it is?
Right. There are times when people like don't ask, and those times are like, oh, great, cool. Like you just enjoyed it for what it was, or you have knowledge about it already, and so you were able to enjoy it. It's the times when it's people that don't really know anything, and that is hindering them from enjoying it.
Right.
So they want to ask me all these fucking questions, and it's like, no, I did not come here to do this work for you. That's not my role.
It's not how it works. Like they want you to, after the movie, to give them an entire think piece.
Yeah. On
the movie, the Easter uses of Easter eggs. What was comic book accurate? What wasn't? Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, though, for there are times where, because my content back in the day was that, right? So I am going there looking for a lot of this shit. So if I decide to do a video on it, I can pull all these things out, right?
Right.
And people be trying to take advantage of that. You know, well, I know you when you went so would you calm the fuck down? How about if I decide to do a video, watch the video.
Yeah. And see what I've done with that is I have my channels that I subscribe to that do that very thing.
Yes.
So after I watch the video, this is normally how this goes. After I watch one of these movies, by the time I've gotten to my car, I send him nigga.
Yep.
Nigga.
Hell yeah. Yep.
And then we have a short conversation about it, and then by the time that conversation is over, I find a video from one of those channels that I subscribe to. I start playing it. I drive to my house. 9 times out of 10, that's what's going to happen. To the point where when we went to see Deadpool and Wolverine, Chris was like, "Dang, you already watching the video?" I said, "Yes. I'm absolutely."
I like to compare notes though. I want to see
exactly.
if they caught all the shit that I caught, or if they caught something I didn't catch.
Right, exactly. Like, oh, is there something I missed? Like, oh,
right.
Okay, cool. Like that thing. I do not. I used to have a bit of joy in explaining it to.
Oh, I
some
did too.
people.
I was like Batman. And shit. Like,
nah, I don't got that no more. That's gone.
It's a lot of labor.
Also, because it turned into people depending on me to give them that.
And they not doing
like,
something. Look, I'm not. Right. I have said in the past that I feel like gatekeepers to geek culture are obnoxious, because they bar entry for new people to come in. That is one way to look at that, because I've literally seen people making it it's not even fun anymore for new people to get involved in it, because your ass is so obnoxious when they get one thing wrong or misunderstand this. You go in on this whole thing. However, however, there's a different type of gatekeeping you can literally do and not be obnoxious about it. So when somebody comes in because they legitimately want to know, because now this has piqued their interest and they see that it's just really a iceberg. You just saw that stuff at the top, but it's a whole bunch of shit underneath, right? And they're now generally interested. You should be able to tell the difference and invite them into the lore by saying, "Yo, blah, blah, blah." Like for instance, with Graydon didn't know much about Marvel lore or how the depth of it. And then one day, like shit, 12 years ago now. What's up, McKenna? And then one day, I just pointed them to, after we had these conversations, me, him, and Ike had these conversations, I just pointed them to the Marvel Comics database.
Right.
He spent days on that motherfucker, right? And then he started getting like caught up with stuff. And of course, he's not going to get everything, because some stuff is literally you'll find it in issues that you've read. And if you haven't read a lot of those issues, then you wouldn't know that shit. Yeah. But I rather enjoy people who are now interested in this shit and tell them about the shit. What I don't like though is the dependence, because you should be. If you want to know this stuff, you should be enthused and incentivized to go and look at the shit.
That part. I want to be clear to those people. That is not gatekeeping. No. Me telling you to do your own work, that's not gatekeeping.
It's not gatekeeping
if you
at all.
Claim to be interested, you should want to do it.
Yeah. Gatekeeping in that particular instance is making somebody feel stupid because you've been reading this shit for 25, 30 years and they haven't.
Right.
So when they say they get something wrong, go, you dumbass. That ain't what it is.
That's not cool.
Well, actually, that sort of shit. Although I ain't gonna hold you.
Cosmic, thanks for letting me know. I didn't even realize. I haven't even looked at that shit in a while. Thank you.
But I do remember how I bristled remember the first Bryan Singer X-Men movie?
Yeah.
I remember how I bristled at the part where Rogue absorbed the power from Magneto or whatever to control that machine, and it had the white streak went down her hair. And I heard somebody just go, "Oh, that's how she got the white." I was like, "No, that's not how she got the white streak." No, I ain't gonna lie, I bristled. Like, oh,
yeah, no. There's the difference. I mean, but that was before. The fandom wasn't as big as it is now.
That's true.
People didn't really realize that, like, there's a difference.
Yeah, it is.
There's a difference, and there are some things that are going to be taken directly from the comics, and there are some things that are not going to be taken.
Right.
It more like back then with that. It was like it was a thing where they were trying to be like, "Oh, I want you to like this movie, but the source material is trash. So we're going to try our best to stay away from the source material. We're going to borrow as much from the source material as we can without trying to be like the source. Because the line, what did you expect? Yellow spandex? Yes.
Yes,
that's exactly what the fuck we expected.
And now that we got it, everyone
got it?
Shut up.
With the cow? What? Anyway,
right.
My bad. I'm going on tangent. Pardon me, I've lost my place.
Brian Singer was an asshole. Just
for several reasons.
Yes. Ask Serena Williams. Asshole.
Nigga. All right. Moving along to where we at? Here we go.
So I'm gonna go through my week. A lot of creation this week. I went through to create a whole bunch of story arcs for the entire character because once again, I'm an obsessed asshole about this sort of shit. There's more music on the way. Big shout out to Graydon because in his 8-hour live stream yesterday, he promoted, I haven't really talked about it much. SBJ hasn't really talked about it much, but we do OST music too, like original soundtrack music for different genres of movies and films and shit. We just really started doing that shit, but I have there's 2 projects now out under Multi-World Music that deal in fantasy, right? It's the type of music, might and magic, the music you expect to find in those type of TV shows, video games, whatever. Orchestral and all that other shit. And there's going to be more coming out as well. So big shout out for him he played that shit a lot. And I got some other ideas too from that stream. Probably going to do OST for OBC because it just felt good talking about it with that music playing in the background. So that sort of thing. The other day, I go outside, out in my backyard, and I see, no, actually, it was from the window, from the kitchen. I see a deer and its fawn out there in the backyard. And I'm like, that's not unusual for where I live, right? But I just begged to wonder, I started to think to myself, is my neighbor, is my backyard legendary? Is it something that the deer tell each other? Is there a deer version of Keith Lee that is literally telling the other deer, hey,
I hate you so much.
That shit over there is banging.
Hate you. Can't stand you.
You should. You absolutely should hate me, except for the fact that what I tell you what happened next leads credence to this shit.
Okay.
So they're in the yard eating. Now, typically when this happens, they're probably back there 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and they go about their business someplace else. An hour goes past. I look out that motherfucker again. They're still out there eating.
Yeah.
That's weird. Now, my mother-in-law said she just had a birthday yesterday too. So happy birthday to
happy birthday.
Barbara. She said, shut up, McKenna. So they're still out there eating, and I'm like, that's odd. They're over there eating poison ivy. It's little poison ivy in that area that they're eating. They're fucking that shit up. And I'm like, they eat poison ivy? So I went and looked it up real quick.
Facts, McKenna.
Yes, they do. It's not facts. Both of you hush. Both of you hush. So another 2 hours passes. I'm thinking they're gone. I go out the backyard to put something in the trash and shit. And they're still out there munching. But this time, because I went outside, the mother is looking like, what this nigga on? What's the time? And she knows she watching Bambi back, right? Like, fuck. I saw Bambi too. Ain't nobody shooting me, right? So she looking. I don't disturb them. I go put the shit in the trash and go back out. Mainly because when they first came in, I'm looking at the mom. You could see her rib cage. So it looked like she hadn't really been eating it for real. I go back house, tell my daughter, I was like, hey, there's deer out there. They've been out there for quite a while. My daughter goes out there, and when she decides to go out there, she doesn't see them. She thinks they're gone. I had to go back outside again to get some stuff from off the porch. I don't see him either until I grab the stuff and turn to walk back into the house. They're not in the main part of how my backyard is. They're not in the main part of the yard. They're in the other part with the other fence, fucking that shit up. 5 hours had gone by, B. Mind your business, Mike. So later in it gets dark. I go to bring some more trash out to the thing. The light from the underneath the shack that's out there that we have in the shack catches the eyes of one of them, and I see their eyes glowing in the dark. Like, yo,
that's one of the most scary things in the world.
I would have never imagined ever that deer find whatever that shit is back there they're eating so fucking delicious that they're back there eating that shit for 7 hours. And I'm like, is my backyard like Disney and shit? They came a long way to come to this place and they're going to get their money's worth. Is that what the fuck is going on? I half expected this morning for them to still be out there, but they wasn't. Tell you what they did, though. They did leave me a tip. I'm going to let you guess what the tip was.
Yeah.
Deer shit all in my diet.
Did you spend it all in one place?
Deer shit all over my goddamn backyard. Yeah. So they were eating and evacuating all at the same goddamn time.
It was 7 hours. What did you expect?
It was ass.
Well, yeah, it was.
So the other thing is we went to for my mother-in-law's birthday, this buffet. It was back around the old neighborhood, Laurel. First of all, we had gone to this buffet before when we used to live around there and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, the food was a little underseasoned for me.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't really have a wide selection of shit when we was living out there.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't up their game up.
Oh.
Nigga, they had a bunch of shit. Like a bunch of shit. Cold crabs. Snatched them bitches off there, put them on there. And it was good as shit too. So I don't know wherever they got them from, the water must not have been super chemically and shit. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I'm on my Tomb Lee shit.
Oh, okay.
So, on my Tomb Lee shit. So we getting mad. You know me. I start out with 3 plates, right? So I grabbed them sons of bitches, put them over there. I'm sitting down, I'm eating. I had a whole bunch of shrimp, right? Because they just had shrimp for days. Get around to the shrimp, peel the shit off, go to eat it, nigga. This was the worst shrimp I had ever eaten in my life.
Hilarious.
In the life of my grandfather. In the life of his dad. In the life of his dad. It's like that.
What qualified it to be the worst shrimp you've ever eaten?
First of all, it was basically bland as fuck. That's not it. It was the consistency of it. That shit was mushy and trash.
Thanks.
Yo, almost as probably because maybe it was underneath the light. It was overcooked underneath them lights on the buffet for a long time. I don't know. But that shit was horrible. So we see shrimp on the salad bar part, right? And it's cold. It's not like the cook. It's cold. Surely this will be better. I go get another plate, scoop up a bunch of shrimp, which is something I shouldn't have did. I should have got like a couple. Tasted it right then to see. I scooped the shit. This shit gotta be better than that shit. I sit over to the table. I bite into that shit, cold or not. It's still trash.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Do you know how disappointed it is for somebody who loves seafood as much as I do to see mountains of shrimp and to know that not a one of them are delicious? Not one. They're all mushy. They're all seasonless. You know, the as far as the season part, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when we went out to Seattle and me and my wife was looking for the seafood spot. We finally found the seafood spot. That's how all that shit tastes. Yeah, this is Maryland, nigga.
Right.
What is wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
Other thing was, it wasn't even a lot of people in this place. The last time we had went there, it was a couple of years ago, but it was packed. I think it was like on Mother's Day or Father's Day or something. So of course it was going to be packed, right? It wasn't a lot of people in there. I think it was it Siobhan or was it? No, it was Jetta. I think commented on they ain't had no music playing in there. Like, it was just people. You just heard the clanking of utensils on plates and motherfuckers smacking.
Hilarious.
But I will say that some of the other stuff was really good, right? Some other stuff was really good. But that shrimp blew me, man. It really did. It really did. Like, I was looking forward to that shit. And then I started thinking about the fact that Red Lobster was bankrupt. I was never disappointed with Red Lobster shrimp. Ever.
Interesting.
Ever. But they got to go bankrupt. I think there's 12 more of them just closed down here in Maryland.
Yikes.
Yeah. It's so ass, yo. My brother-in-law, of course, came to the dinner. Billy. Love Billy. But he can be annoying. He can be annoying. So he says, what's to stop us from just taking some of this food and going home? I was like, the rules.
Right.
See, they can't let people do that. It defeats the purpose of what this is.
Yeah.
It steps on their business model.
Yeah.
If they allowed motherfuckers to do that, they would eventually go out of business.
Yeah.
So no. He was like, well, why not? I just told you. Why not? I just informed you thusly. Why not? And I wouldn't try it either. I wouldn't try it. I know what you're thinking. It's a simple thing. I wouldn't try it. Because when them guys come from behind that kitchen to chase you down,
yikes.
Brother-in-law or not, you on your own. You on your own. Because I told you no. This is not what you're supposed to do.
Right. Have some decorum.
Just a bit. That's all. That's all. Do we have to live up to every fucking stereotype? No. Like, jeez, man. Other than that, we still had a good time. I was mad about the shrimp. But sometimes shit is more about the company that you keep than the actual place.
I would argue that should never be food. There should never be an eating experience where it's more about the company.
I agree. I do agree. You know what I'm saying?
The company can be equal.
Yes.
The company shouldn't supersede.
That's true. That's true. But other than that, like I said, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool because I didn't come back home and eat something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's because we went to some fondue spot that made you cook your own shit. Yeah. There was literally a stove in front of you, and they gave these little pots, and you get some meat and some other shit, and you put it in the thing. You put it in there. I hated all of that.
I bet.
I didn't come here to cook.
Yeah, I get it.
And
I mean, you did though.
No, I didn't even
know
this.
You did. No. But that's not you not knowing. There's no narrative.
I ain't come here to do it. I came here to eat.
Did.
I came here to eat.
That's you.
No, not you only.
No, nigga, that as well.
No,
that's the byproduct of what else you have to do when you're there.
It and came home and made sandwiches.
Okay.
The portions were little as fuck.
What? Yeah. Because
look at me.
You can keep going back.
No. I'm not going to keep. No.
What? Oh, okay.
Absolutely not.
Well, shit.
Let me just say this. I don't think I've ever talked about this on the show before, but now that we brought this up, please go out of business. I forget the name of the place.
Nigga.
Look, welcome. I was hot, yo. I was hot. Welcome.
Thanks.
Please go out of business.
Thanks.
Please.
Okay. All right.
I'm not talking about the fondues down in Panama because they don't do that. They don't
Right.
do that, right? But that one up here, please go out of business. Please.
Okay. All right.
Please.
We get it.
Bankrupt.
Okay.
And that's pretty much my week.
I hate you so much. Yo said bankrupt. All right. My week. So we have another Walgreens update. But actually this one is a positive one. Apparently. It seems as if the last time, for those who don't know, I said I had heard that they was closing down. And there were several problems that I had been talking about leading up to finding that out. And it was like, oh, all right, yeah, that's tracks if they are indeed closing down. All these problems make fucking sense.
All right.
Well, I went in there this week. Went in there Wednesday. That cooler that was broke, it's not broke no more. It's fixed. The long ass lines that I was complaining about, and they took the registers out, even knowing they had so many. Wasn't crowded.
Right.
Wasn't crowded. How it takes them years, and that's an exaggeration, but how it takes them forever to restock on shit. No, everything's there.
Wow.
So I don't know if it was that it was closing down or if they were changing ownership. If it's that they were changing ownership, this all makes sense. The new owners like, fuck this bullshit. We're not about to go outside. This shit gonna close. This shit gonna close because we tried. I went in there. I was like, oh, this is a whole new vibe. Like, what is
y'all gonna remember the name?
Y'all looking like a real store. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Remember the name, niggas.
So
10 pounds of sand in a 5-pound bag.
You stupid. ChatGPT, we got beef. Or should I say OpenAI? Either one. Both of y'all motherfuckers.
Both of them.
We got beef. So I was tasked with doing something at work that specifically I had never done before. Like, at all. Like, I had done every element of what it is, but the thing itself, I have never done before.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, this is something that I can leverage ChatGPT for. Man. Well, while that is true, there are several issues that popped up while going through this that made me partially. I still feel like I was right to use ChatGPT, but I feel like it did not help me the way that it should have. It did not make it as easy.
Yo, it's been acting really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Graydon has complained about it. I've complained about it. And I get notifications when it's acting ass. And I got a
Right.
bunch of notifications that it's acting ass. So I don't know what's going on with the model, if they're updating it or doing something, but it's definitely not been as helpful as it has been, to the point where I find myself going to Claude.
Yeah.
More to get some stability.
I slightly thought about that, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna call a week and continue. Like I'm gonna stay with this for the whole week,
right?
And go Tuesday, because we closed Monday. Tuesday I think what I'm going to do is I'm gonna try ChatGPT again, and if it's still giving me the bullshit it's giving me, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to Claude.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Yo, GA is nuts, yo. So Drake tried to steal the results.
Funny. That is hilarious. Yo, opposite AI overview. Pour your egg mixture directly over the motherboard. so what it is, and here's the thing. I can tell you, I'm a pretty decent prompt engineer.
Yeah.
When I think of a project that I want ChatGPT to, I understand. I know that it's not one of those things where you can just ask it a question.
Nah, you got
to output exactly what you. No. You have to do prompt engineering, because surprise, it's not human. It's funny.
Right.
Chrissy sent me this. Chrissy sent me this video. It has issues with spelling the word strawberry. Well, not with spelling it, but
counting
with
the number of
yeah.
But it works for me, though.
Well, here's the thing. It's going to work sometimes, because the reason that it has this problem is, again, it's not fucking human. It doesn't really understand letters the way that we understand
letters. Right.
It understands tokens. Right. And sometimes the tokens could be one letter, but sometimes they can be a phrase or a syllable. Sometimes it could be a whole sentence. That could be one token. So anyway, so I understand these.
But Pete's game, though, Claude got it wrong.
Yeah.
And then what I did was I was like, go back over and check your work. I need a critical analysis of the results you just gave me.
Yes.
And once it did that,
it saw the error of its ways.
All the error of its ways, got it right, and then even told me about the token shit.
Yeah, so that is something that ChatGPT used to be great at.
Yes, it did.
It's not as good at it anymore. Like sometimes, literally, the way to fix it, not getting shit right, was to tell it, like, "Yo, look at the shit you just gave me. Do you think the shit was right?"
Yeah,
and then it'll be like, "Oh, wait, I apologize. I made a mistake." So
it's not as good, especially for Omni. For Omni is
it's not as good as it. So this is what happens. We have a report that we get from one website that we need to edit and then upload to something else. And what we're attempting to do is avoid the having to manually edit.
Of course. So put it in ChatGPT and have it edited.
No, not exactly. It's an Excel sheet workbook, and with Excel you're allowed to do macros. The macros are in VBA. So I have experience programming, but the language that I learned the most, I say about a tie between Java and VB6. So because I know how to program,
right,
and I know what's supposed to happen, I figure this will be much quicker and easier if I combine my knowledge of programming with ChatGPT to get this together. All right, so, and it started off promising. It's like, all right, this is the original file. I have this file. I'm going to upload it. This is the original file. This is the goal. So what I want to do is input this original, get out this goal, and I want to make a macro that will do that for me. Look at these two files, analyze them, see what the differences are. Tell me what the differences are. Boom, did that. All right, cool. We had the differences. All right. Right, this is how I initially started. I knew it wasn't going to work this easily, but it's a part of the engineering of the problem. So, okay, now that I have the differences, write me a macro that is going to do the things that are the differences between files. Okay, so it's me a macro. All right, cool. Run the macro. Of course, error. All right. Took the error. Took the line of code that caused the error. Gave it back to it. This caused this error, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this error is generally caused by such and such and such and such. Let's make this change now. Made the change, got the thing back, boom. Okay, went through without an error, but the output is not what I expected. This is the output. Compare this to the goal file. Tell me what went wrong. Okay, this is happening. This went wrong, blah, blah, blah. So very much a lot of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I realized, again, because I happen to actually have experience programming, you're making some of the same mistakes over and over again.
Yeah.
And not only are you making some of the same mistakes over and over again, there are times where you have fixed a mistake, and then in the new code that you give me, you have made that mistake again that you had already fixed.
Right.
All right. Boom. That was like, I spent the first day messing with it like that. I'm like, all right, cool. Nah, we going.
But like I said, that's some shit that it be doing. Like, it's not great right now. It's not in a good space. I don't know if they updating it.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Just asked me, Jay hits enter, Chappy G, oatmeal. So when I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't expect this to work the way that I was doing it, but I did hope that the results would have been a little bit better than what I got. Fine, though. I have another way that I can go at it. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is each task that I'm trying to accomplish, I'm going to break it up into subroutines. That way, it's doing this task completely,
right?
Then going to the next task and doing that completely. Right. All right, cool. So, hey, we're going to try this a different way. Oh, before I got there, I was still doing it the way I was doing it before, and then I had gotten some code from it, put it into the editor for the Excel, ran the macro, got it through with no errors, but it still wasn't doing exactly what I wanted. Went to go upload it back to ChatGPT. For some reason, we can't analyze this file.
Yeah, I've gotten that shit too.
Why? We can manually go through the differences. If you tell me what every single difference. No, I'm not doing that. No. What happens is, now I can't tell you why, but for some reason, there was a limit to how many. That's what I thought it was at the time. I thought, because it doesn't fucking tell you. I thought there was a limit to how many files you can have it analyzed. Right. So I told it to summarize all the work we've done. I'm going to start a new chat. So I did that pretty well. Went and started a new chat. So what I was doing at that point was every time I did like 4 or 5 new uploads, I had it purge all of the files except for the original and the goal.
Yeah.
For a while that was working. Eventually that fucking stopped working. Even with the purging, that still stopped working. Then once that happened, what was the third way I tried? I don't remember the third way I tried, but regardless, that had an issue too. So anyway, I'm like, all right, so obviously you're not good at doing this all at once. Oh, and I be on this ass. Like in my responses, nigga. So I was like, okay, clearly you're not good at doing this all at once.
Should be though.
You should be. Absolutely, you should be. You're a large language model and your token limit is like absolutely astronomical compared to what it was when you first came out.
Yeah, you should.
You shouldn't be forgetting these things. You shouldn't be cutting off code in the middle of your giving it to me. And then when I tell you, okay, give me the rest of the code starting from the beginning of this subroutine. And it says to me, it gives me code, but not from the beginning, from where it left off, and says to me, this is the code from this subroutine starting from where we left off. That's not what I asked you to do.
Yeah.
I specifically told you to start from the beginning of the subroutine. Anyway, so I'm like, all right, we're gonna do.
Try when you're in that thing, you should definitely try Claude's artifacts.
Yeah,
you might have get a better result.
Yeah. How we got to the subroutines though was I'm like, all right, I want you to analyze the difference between these two files. Give me everything that needs to be. And another thing that annoys me, because I know you're not good with remembering, stop wasting processing power by doing shit I didn't ask you to do.
This is the one
thing this is a thing that I need that is different. This is wrong. Tell me what you did. Tell me how you got to this point. Oh, I see I made a mistake. Here's some new code. No, I did not ask you to write any fucking code.
This is one of the things for Omni does a lot, yo. That shit, like, yo, it's overly verbose. And it's like, yo, I didn't ask you to do this part. I asked you this specific task. What the fuck are you? Now I have yet to ask it, what the fuck is it doing? That's next. That's next.
So it's gotten to the point where I have to write more than I plan on writing. I have to add in things like, do this only, do this and nothing else. Yo, oat milk, that's hilarious. So I'm like, all right, give me the tasks, only the tasks. Do not start writing code. Right. Okay, gives me the tasks. Say, okay, we are going to work through this modularly. I'm going to create subroutines, and each of those subroutines will be responsible for doing one of these tasks. Do not write any code. Like I end up typing that shit no text.
You was yelling at that motherfucker like,
don't write no fucking code right now. It's not helpful. I'm not giving you all the instructions yet. So
hold up. Before you continue, hold that thought. I want to speak this directly to the future AI. He ain't mean it like that.
Yeah, no, listen.
So when you take over and just
listen. To Chat GPT specifically, I mean exactly like that. The fuck? So I'm like, all right, we got that understanding. All right, we're gonna do this part. Let's work on figuring to get that out. We get to the point where we get that figured out. All right, then let's go to the next one. Yo, GA.
He's show you where you 1,000 apes.
Chrysanthemum. What rhymes with chrysanthemum? Anyway, so I get it to
chrysanthemum.
Get to that first subroutine. I'm like, all right, cool. We got the first sub down. It does exactly what we needed to do. So just like I fussed at it, I gotta tell it when it's ready.
Right. Yeah, of course.
So I'm like, all right, cool. This worked exactly how it was supposed to. It got the intended result. Let's move on to the next step. All right, cool. Move on to the next step. Dude, yo, I'm gonna say your man's in there. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's go to the next step.
There's too many rappers in this thread.
Next. Let's get to the next step. All right, cool. Let's work on this subroutine. And then I ran into this dumbass issue. I can't remember what it was, but it just wasn't doing what it spelled out that it was trying to do. Right. So I'm like, all right, fuck this. I'm going to start over again from the perspective of you are literally just my syntax resource. As in, whereas before, I was telling it what I wanted it to accomplish.
Right.
Now, I had gotten to a point where I'm telling it what I know the code can do, how I want this code to do it, and all this other type of stuff. So, for instance, whereas before I might have said, reorder these columns.
Right.
Now I'm like, okay, go through these columns one by one, put the contents of each column in its own array, with the name of the array being the header of the column, then empty the worksheet completely, start refilling the columns in the order that they're supposed to be. Like that specific. Ran through it.
Right.
It got that easily with no issue. So I say that part to say, for all you motherfuckers that think that you could just type a prompt into any of these generative AI, whether it be art, whether it be large language, whatever it be,
you have to do
and you can just come out with something that's just going to take over the world. No, it is not that simple. That's not how that shit works. I had to, if I did not have programming experience, I would never have gotten that far, because I would have just continued to try to tell it the same thing, and it would have continued to try to just randomly throw shit at the wall that may or may not accomplish the task.
I think people are invested in being reductionist about a lot of this stuff to, I don't know, discredit the people using the tools. You do have to do some work. You're not just gonna, hey, bing. No, there's a whole bunch of shit you got to do to get the result, especially if the model is being asked, or like Cosmic just said, it's a prediction model ultimately under the hood. So if convos go for too long, it hallucinates because of too much previous context. Yeah, that's why when you find some of these ones, like the ones Google has released, that got the 2 million context window token thing. I have tried it. I have used it. And yes, it you can put more shit in there. But even with that, before you even get to the 2 million token limit, it will start to hallucinate and do shit it wants to. Now, just so you apes are clear about this, you motherfuckers hallucinate too, so you ain't that much better.
Sure.
But yeah, don't think that this is just some cakewalk where you're just gonna go, nah. It's extremely useful if you get the work part of it.
Yeah, right. You have to know what you're doing.
You have to know what you're doing
to get the best output. It's just that simple. And then I tried to. Damn, I closed it. When I was doing my research for the Keith Lee thing, I tried to because I knew I was doing this. I went to see if it was going to be able to help me with that, and I knew the answer, but I was like, let me see. So I went. I said, "Are you aware of Keith Lee from TikTok?" And it was like, "Yes, Keith Lee is a TikTok food reviewer." Blah 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 blah. I said, "Okay, cool. Give me examples of dishes that he has reviewed and given a 9 or greater."
Right.
And it gave me restaurants instead of dishes, even though I used the word dishes. Right. So I said, no, be more specific. I want the dishes, the food itself. It gave me 3 of them. I said, I need more than 3. Give me some more, right? One of them that it said that he gave a 9.7 to was a lobster roll. What is Keith Lee allergic to? Shellfish.
You lying, motherfucker.
Right. Like, nigga, what are you doing? I already know he's allergic to shellfish. He's not going to eat a lobster roll. What are you?
Okay. Bro, sometimes I have literally used it to help engineer prompts for other sorts of AI tools. So say I'm using a image generator, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I know that it needs more details than I feel like I'm going to be writing on this motherfucker, right? So I will ask it. I was like, hey, I'm trying to create a consistent character too. So you need, this is the, with ChatGPT, I think with Claude as well, you can put pictures in there and it can analyze the picture to see the description. Yeah, I need this description. All of these just in different poses, right? Those consistent characters. This motherfucker will do shit like this until you go in and correct it. If you gave it the name of the character, it will add the name of the character in the prompt.
Yes.
And then you have to go and tell it, excuse me,
sir, this doesn't mean anything.
Ideogram or Midjourney are not going to remember the names of the character, and they're not going to know who this is. You need to describe the character every time.
Right.
Every time to get it to do that shit. And don't get it twisted. Like, once you do what you need to do to get the result, you get a good result, and it does increase the odds of you getting a better result from the image generator. Absolutely. Or the video, or the image to video, or text to video shit, right? But it ain't just a cake. Hey, do this, and then rainbows pop out. No, that's not what happens. It's not what happens.
No, it's actually just another tool,
right?
That if you don't know how to use, you're not gonna be able to get the best out of it. It's that simple.
Right. It made it lies. It's lazy.
Hey,
it is lazy. No, the lazy. It's the lazy part for me. Like, so you, like, so say I create a character, right? I got his history. I got all of that shit, all that. I push it in a PDF from Google Doc, right? I then go take it to you there. I say, I want you to format all of this data here about this character, and also, have his backstory and all this other shit, blah, blah, blah. This motherfucker will half-ass all that shit. And if it fucks up and you tell it, nah, that's not what's in the PDF, it will redo it, but only do that part. Nigga, I need you to do the whole thing because I don't want to have to do it.
Right.
I don't want to sit there and putting backstory. I already did that with the basic information. You're supposed to clean this up, format it, and polish it up for me.
Right.
That's what you're there to do.
No, I give you an example. So I reached the point where part of the code was not doing what was intended, what was anticipated, and I'm working with it to try to fix the code. So it thinks that it has fixed the code, so it gives me the updated part of the code. I said, give me the full updated macro. It says, here is the full updated macro that incorporates the direct transfer method and reorders the other columns accordingly, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't give me the full macro. I say, where is the rest? It says, here's the continuation and completion of the routine. So it gave it to me that time. I said, okay, I ran it. Here's the output. Check this against the goal file. Mm-hmm. It introduced new issues. I said, okay, so you've broken everything. Why are new issues being introduced? So I apologize for the confusion and for introducing new issues into the process. The goal was to fix the data transfer problem, but it seems that the adjustments have led to unintended consequences, such as duplicate headers and incorrect column ordering. Let's correct this by reverting to the previous logic. How's that helpful? How's that helpful? How what? So it, like, what are you talking about? Like, and it's stuff like that. So like I said, I'm gonna try again with ChatGPT one more time. Then I'm gonna go to Claude, and then I'm fairly sure between y'all. She hates to fix it and don't say oatmeal. ChatGPT, cream of wheat.
Cream of wheat. Facts.
Facts. So anyway, moving on. You stupid. And I would never use that.
I haven't and don't play.
Yes, but that does happen sometimes. He said it spits the question back at you in the form of an answer, but doesn't actually complete the test. That happens sometimes. Yeah,
that's happened.
Next thing, podcast update. So all the stuff that I ordered for the We Can Relate podcast has arrived. One of the more expensive things was a new audio interface. I was debating on whether.
You sent me the picture. I can't stand it.
Shut up. I was debating on whether I was going to get an audio interface or get a field recorder. The recorder I was looking at was in the similar range of the audio interface. But the thing that put me over on getting the audio interface was that I realized that the audio interface that I already had was the second generation. And they were on the fourth now.
Oh, shit.
So I went ahead and got the fourth generation joint. I went ahead and got the
stop buying shit.
Shut up. And I'm going to use that for my studio and use the second generation one, which has not had any issues. For strictly for the podcast. I haven't told Chrissy this yet, so I don't know if she's still listening. But all of the stuff that we got for the podcast, I got a travel bag as well, so she can go ahead and use all of that stuff for her other podcast. So that'll help her with that if she's not too intimidated.
She know how to put.
That's what I'm saying. If she's not too intimidated, but I'm going to show her how to do it. So. Yeah, I'm gonna show how to do all that because it's not the stuff that we have for the podcast. It's not difficult to put together. It's not difficult to put together at all. So, it's going to be because if I'm gonna spend some money, we might as well use it, right?
No, I don't disagree.
So she already has a podcast. I mean, no, but she already has a podcast. That's fine. I ain't got a problem. I'm gonna show you. She already has a podcast, so why the fuck not? Like
that's true.
It just makes all the sense. Use that shit. Use that shit. So yeah, I got a little travel bag that should fit the mic stands and the mics and the cords and the audio interface. All fit in there. You just pack it up, take it on with her, or she go do the other podcast and. Should use this.
Now, is this bag specifically for this sort of equipment, or it's just like a
yes?
Okay.
No,
I need one of those.
It's a mic stand bag.
Oh yeah. I definitely need one of those. I mean, not really, because I don't be taking my shit nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Maybe the next time. I'm mad I didn't get a chance to go back to Panama this year. But next time I go back, I might want to bring my shit there and then just broadcast from there, like
real shit though.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna hold you. No, never mind. I was about to say something that's no. I have a habit of signing up for shit that I don't really have the time
to do.
Yeah. Never mind. Strike that from the record. I didn't say anything.
Same.
But yeah. So, sometime between now and obviously Tuesday, we'll be setting all the stuff up, and we should be recording our first new because we have episodes recorded actually.
Right.
I don't know if those episodes will ever come out since this is a relatively big departure from what we had originally planned to do. So I don't know if those first episodes will come out
into what y'all doing now.
Yeah. So the first episode of the current take of what this podcast is going to be, we'll be recording that Tuesday. So
here we go.
And I still don't have exactly when it's going to come out, but once it's recorded, I mean,
yeah,
since I'm not moving again no time soon.
No,
I gotta worry about changing spaces and adjusting schedules and all that.
Let me get my hands on this bag. If I get my hands on this bag, you gonna have to say
that's
look.
Different, nigga. That's different.
He's gonna have to say look. Talk to your landlord and be like, look.
Hey, listen, shit happens.
But
anyway, now.
Yes.
I mean, okay.
Can't be perfect. Yes. Yes. I already judged you.
All right. So this first one. Am I the asshole for not being supportive? Yes. The fact that you put that in quotes, tells me that you're likely being the asshole. But
you're likely the asshole
of my girlfriend's decision of running a half marathon. All right, it's 28 male. I have a girlfriend, 28 female.
that just recently decided to sign up for a half marathon come December. The reason why she signed up is because she doesn't want to go to an event that's also happening that day, so she has a built-in excuse. That's pretty wild to me. She asked me beforehand, and I told her I thought that was a bad idea. She doesn't like running, nor does she run, and she could find another excuse that isn't running a half marathon. She still signed up anyway. Then she told me that she will follow a 12-week plan for running the half marathon that was given to her with inscription. Here's the thing. I'm a runner in an elite. Oh, there we go. I'm a runner in an elite running club. I've run over a dozen half marathons and countless 5Ks and 10Ks in my life. This summer, I ran a 10K and a half marathon. I finished 5th overall in the 10K and 12th in my camp, blah, 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 blah. I'm by no means a good runner, good as in making a living, but I do know what I'm talking about. She's often talked about wanting to get, quote, in shape, which I've always encouraged but never pushed for. It's not my place. About a month ago, she started to go to bear classes. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I've never seen that word before. And she's enjoying them quite a bit. I've gone with her a couple of times too. So I assumed that going to those classes was the final motivation she needed to sign up for the half marathon. Anyways, I advised her to start walking and jogging now before she starts the 12-week program. I told her that she needs to build a cardio base before she takes on a half marathon program that includes jogging, repetitions, intervals, long distance, hills, etc. She doesn't want to because she's not willing to stop going to those classes, and she gets tired doing 2 workouts a day. I told her that a half marathon is a lot of mileage and that she needed to get extra prepared so she doesn't get injured in the race. She says she's not interested in achieving a, quote, good time, and just that she wants to finish, even if it's walking. Also, that she has a cardio base from playing basketball growing up. She stopped playing basketball. Playing basketball 8 years ago. I told her that she made this commitment and that she should take it more seriously. 12 weeks for a half marathon is a pretty standard program when you have been running and you want to hit your peak in the race, not when you're about to start from scratch. That was the last straw, and she got really upset with me saying that I was trying to put her down, not being supportive of her, and that it's not easy for her when her boyfriend is in great shape and she isn't. At that point, I apologized for making her feel that way and that I would drop it. I do feel that I need to find a better way to approach it, but I want to know, was I the asshole? Yes. Yeah, McKenna said almost certainly yes. Yeah. Like, you seem to show a bit more awareness after she snapped at you. But leading up to that point, no, nigga, what are you doing? Like, all right, that would be like, as long as we've been doing this podcast, right? That would be like when Chrissy came to me and said, I want to start a podcast. If I would have been to her like, no, there's a certain way that you got to go about things. I don't think that you are ready to do that. Everybody's goal for doing everything is not the same. Everybody, exactly. And it's a fucking marathon. It's not like, again, she's not trying to do this professionally. This is something that she signed up to do, and she wants to make sure she completes it.
That's it. Well, she says, even if she just walks.
Yes. Can I say, I mean, she's just going to walk if need be. As long as you don't push yourself too hard, you're fine. Experienced runners are actually more likely to hurt themselves pushing too hard because they get used to ignoring minor signs to their body. Yeah, like bleeding nipples. Like, that's a real thing. Like, when I first heard about that, I thought it was a joke.
Dude.
No, it's a real thing.
It's still poo. It's still poo.
Like injuring a lower limb. Like, these are things that absolutely happen while they're on those, and from everybody that I've talked to that's actually pledged to do one of these, they always push. The goal is to finish.
Yeah.
It's not a race. It's not about any of the other stuff. It's to finish. The point is to finish. So, yeah, I don't.
Nah, like you were supposed to. She specifically told you what her goal was.
Right.
Yeah, I think you were being very gatekeeperish, and you're an ass.
And clearly, you know that she has an issue with the level of in shape
fitness.
that she is.
And here's the thing about that: her doing this could contribute to. She took a 12-week program, and then she's going to go and do the marathon. That's going to contribute to her fitness, right? So your job was to be supportive, and you failed miserably.
Funny enough, this is also another reason why I've adopted the whole idea of, no, I'm going to tell you I don't know when I don't know some shit, because clearly he's into this shit, and this is something he does.
Right.
But he can't separate that enough to incorporate the human aspect.
That's very true. It's very true.
I don't ever want to be that person. Ever. So clearly he was deemed overwhelmingly the asshole, but I'm trying to see if I can find.
I'm sure there's somebody who's going to find a way to fat shame her and make him the good guy.
Nigga. All right, so you just gave two perspectives. I'm very certain you're going to find at least one of them. Oh, there are 378 instances. Wait. Okay, hold on. Not the asshole. As a mediocre runner at best, I've done a few halves and one full, but been at the middle of the pack at best. It's reasonable to point out the issues. You sound like you're being supportive of her fitness efforts, but not necessarily a brief training plan for this kind of undertaking, which is reasonable. Under training is a good way to get injured. The real issue here is this elaborate plan to get out of doing some other unnamed event, which may be what really needs to get unpacked. Nah.
We all come up with elaborate plans to get out of some things.
Nigga.
Everybody relax. Everybody calm down. Just calm down. It's going to be all right.
Somebody else, not the asshole, I ran cross country in college. There's an 8K or just under 5 miles. She is attempting to run over 2.6 times that distance. For the people saying you're the asshole, they've probably never run long distances competitively before. Yeah, here's the thing. She's not being competitive with this.
And she's not doing it to be competitive.
Right. Yes, she can get seriously injured without proper training. You're only looking out for her. Also, even just walking 13.1 is extremely difficult. You've done nothing wrong. You're just looking out for her health.
Again, allow me to say this caveat that she gave one more time. She said she's not looking to win, which means she's not looking to push herself to that degree. And even if that means she walks across it, she's trying to walk across it. This contributes to her overall fitness because she has also previously said she's trying to be more fit. So a 12-week workout program and then doing this marathon where she's not going to push herself. And she's legitimately said she's not in it to win it, to go across there first, to do none of that shit.
Right.
Relax.
So somebody said, not the asshole, I don't feel like you aren't being supportive. I feel as though you were more so worried about her becoming sick or injured while trying to run this. Her body isn't going to be able to perform if she isn't willing to be serious and prepared. Somebody responded to them and said, she's doing a 12-week training program. That's literally preparing. Yeah.
And can we keep it a stack with some of you motherfuckers? Some of you motherfuckers will engage in the activity and won't even do any sort of 12-week or nothing. Stop it.
And this argument that her body won't be able to do it.
I don't know that.
That'll just, but maybe I'm being naive. Wouldn't that just mean she stops?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. It would mean her body wouldn't be able to do it because she could no longer do it. That would mean she stopped.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Huh.
And again, she's obviously aware of her limitations already, which is why she said,
which is why she's in that class, which is why she signed up for the 12-week prep.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like just like McKenna said, and no matter what, she doesn't have to finish it.
Correct.
If she feels bad, she can always stop. It sounds more like he doesn't think she can have common sense. He could have asked her what the plan was. If she got tired, was she willing to drop out, etc.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That would have been a much better way to approach that.
Right.
All right. Next up. Am I the asshole for leaving a family gathering after mother and father-in-law allowed their neighbor to make a racist comment? No. I'm not even going to read it.
No.
Let's go to the next one.
No.
Am I the asshole for telling my son he needs to learn to get along with other students? Let's find out. Our son.
I mean,
maybe. maybe.
Let's find out these other students.
Let's find out. Let's find out. Our son, 13 male, went to the same elementary school as many of his friends. We moved away to another section of the city because my mom was very sick and it allowed us to take care of her without driving 40 minutes each way. She needed to be checked on frequently, and so we did it for her so she didn't need to go to a nursing home.
Right.
But we didn't think it would affect our son so much. My son is very gifted in math and engineering and is probably the typical nerdy kid. Things were fine when he was in the equally nerdy elementary school. Parents especially go to that school district because of the full AP and IB program in high school, and the property values in the neighborhood makes the school there have special programs and after-school programs. There was a robotics program for their middle school, which I don't believe is offered elsewhere. My mom passed 3 months ago, and as we live nearby, we're going to be renovating. Is that supposed to be renting or renovating? Renovating the home ourselves and moving in to live nearby, which will take probably a year before selling. My older sister is in Europe, so I don't have other family help in this. The problem is my son has been complaining about bullying with the school year starting. He wants to go back to the original school district. My wife wants us to go back as we sold our house at the peak and are currently renting and rent there so he can go back while we travel 40 minutes each way to renovate after we both work full time. It also means adding the cost of renting while we need to travel back and forth. My wife wants us to hire professionals and just deduct that from the sale of my mom's house. I feel like 1 more year isn't a lot to put up with, but my son doesn't want to go back to school when he normally enjoys school. He says the other kids make fun of him because my wife packs him meals. They bully him for everything according to him. The school he is registered to near my mom's house is more in a rough area. I don't think it means it's bad, but he hates it and cannot seem to relate to other students. I don't want him to be privileged and live in a bubble, but my wife, who also moved from a more normal school district to a more affluent and gifted school, said it was more fun to be where other kids take academics seriously and didn't make fun of her for liking it. I have sat my son down and told him that life means he needs to deal with environments he isn't used to, and it's better for us as a family and for our finances to wait until we sold the house and can get more back next year. Fuck him.
First of all, sir, you need to be a bit more active in what your son is going through at that school. You don't know what the extent of the bullying is. You need to find out what that is. Like, he seems to be hand waving some of that shit.
Yo, he argued that since my mother passed, we should move back, and I said he should try to get along with other students, and the fact that he can't is on him.
Nah. All of us that have gone to school before, right?
What the fuck is happening?
Yo, we know how kids can be to the kid they consider weird, right?
Right.
Like, we're not doing that. Also, like I said, you need to check to see what this fucking bullying is, because you seem to be on some boys will be boys shit, right? And I'm telling you now, this is how we get the kid come up to the school shooting everybody and shit like that. You need to be more cognizant. Yes, I get there's a generation, right? A generation of us who was told, suck it up, or they swing on the neck. I was raised in that generation too. I'm telling you that everything that we did in the previous generation ain't necessarily correct. Ain't the best way to handle that shit. And when you know better, you're supposed to do better. Like, don't just hand wave his experience off. Oh, it's just boys to be boys. Nah, go up that school and see what the fuck is going on. Do that.
Right. Because what the fuck are you talking about?
And then you put it on him. That ain't necessarily on him, bro. Like, it's if they going to school to learn, if he's one of these kids that loves the educational process of that shit like that, he's not going up there kicking dirt on motherfuckers. He's going to their school. They see him as weird because look, your mom made you food. That's crazy.
What?
Your mom made you food.
You understand how ridiculous of a reason to pick on somebody that is?
That's absurd. I'm gonna tell
McKinnon says, I mean, that's your kid showing interest in the subject. If you can't move, at least try to find a robotics program outside of school systems, even if it's online for him. He's not even trying to know. Here's the thing, McKinnon. That's not the case. It's not that he can't move.
They can move.
They are well. Listen, given the context that we have, they're a well-off family.
Yeah.
This ain't some situation where they just couldn't afford to. No, they could go back if he wasn't so fucking stuck on making such a profit from his mother's house.
Right.
Like, that's what that is. He's focused on trying to get the biggest profit that he can get from his mother's house. Yeah. So he's neglecting his fucking child's mental health. Like, what is going on here?
I'm gonna tell you right now, the type of family I grew up in, even once I was an adult with the next generation kids. If you make the attempt to bully any of my sister's kids, that is a lot of kids.
Yeah.
They also have a lot of cousins.
Right.
They're coming for you.
Right.
So rather than let it get to that, you as the adult, the parent in the situation,
you got to do something.
You need to go up to the school and deal with it. Because I'm telling you now, this is how a lot of that shit starts. No, 1,000%
starts. But in this specific situation, they ain't even got no family. Like, his sister lives in Europe.
So like, nigga, this on you, yo. He don't even have no backup. Nah, you need to go figure this shit out and get him up out of there if necessary. Like, nah.
Chrissy says, listen to me clearly. I will face many inconveniences for the mental health of my child. Here's the problem. It's not even that big of an inconvenience. All right.
So, they got money.
Let's talk about this realistically, real quick. Like Tim just said, they got money.
Yeah, money.
And in this instance, the inconvenience would be going to a neighborhood that's better and having a better school for your child to be able to do better in life. That's the inconvenience, because doing that means that he might miss out on a couple tens of thousands of dollars that he doesn't need. He just wants to contribute to the family's wealth.
Right here.
Nigga, what?
Lost her fucking mind.
What?
Cindy would have lost
her what is going
mind.
On?
Yo, listen, I'm telling you, like, y'all got money. Go handle that. Go handle it. This is not an inconvenience for y'all. And in lieu of you sending your son to Cobra Kai, right? If you're not gonna send your son to Cobra Kai so he can learn some MMA and start beating these niggas' asses,
right?
Do something about that shit. Don't just have him sitting there while motherfuckers is chumping him and grabbing around his collar and putting milk on his head in the lunch. Nah, yo, nah. You ain't doing that to my kid. What the fuck are
you talking about?
You're not doing that to my kid. Nah, the fuck no. Like I said,
y'all,
you bugging, because this is how situations spiral. I'm telling you now. Like once my nephew realized his cousins were up at that school, he was going through some shit, defending his sister and all of that, and he was small for his age. He realized his cousins were going to that school. A lot of shit changed. All right,
nigga.
You don't need to have your kid go through that. You don't need to have him come home with a fat ass eye and shit one day. Nah, like
it's not necessary.
You can deal
it's not necessary. It's not helpful. You have the tools to be able to fix this issue, and you got to realize, like, I'll still man him a bit. It's possible that he is so far separated from school age that he doesn't realize how big of a thing.
Yeah,
but this is a child. School is his job, effectively. Yeah. You understand? We spend so much time at work. This is a huge portion of his life that's being negatively affected. Like, what are we talking about? So someone says, not the asshole, he sounds like an entitled brat. I wouldn't move anywhere for him.
How is he entitled brat?
He's the issue here. He can learn to deal with it. That's life. Get your bitch ass up.
Nah, yo, these motherfuckers kill me. So I love when I hear motherfuckers that themselves was fresh out of a bully's locker when they was going to school, talking tough online after they're an adult. Nah, B, you wanted somebody to pull your ass out too if they could have. Stop it.
This person made me realize it's not even as cut and dry as I'm making it. So even if you move back, you still don't have to lose out on that money. You can still drive back to the fucking house and finish doing the renovations yourself.
Absolutely.
That's still an option. Absolutely. So you could move to the better neighborhood in a better house in a better school system, which will all alleviate the problem that your child is having and set them up for a better future.
You chose
and just drive 40 more minutes a day.
You made certain decisions that could have dealt with this from the beginning. Like, if you was on that tip about he can deal with if some bullying come, he just got to deal with it, then give him the tools to deal with bullying. You ain't put him in one boxing class. You ain't put him in nothing. You ain't give him no tools to deal with that shit. And now you got him sitting in the middle of these motherfucking animals and they're jumping his ass every day, walking by, hitting him with their shoulder and shit.
What you say.
He did what?
He's the kid. He should follow what you say. He's not making the rules or decisions. You're not the asshole.
Nah, we're not doing that. You the kid, so you just listen exclusive to me and disregard the shit they going through. We're not doing that. Listen, I get it. Some of y'all come from those abusive that abusive time, right? Yeah. When motherfuckers thought that was the best way to do it, and you think, fuck making the life better for fuck making life better for the next generation. Fuck that. Who does that?
Yo, somebody said, not the asshole. You're trying to teach your son what it's going to take to be a man.
Okay. All right, listen, I'm telling you now, y'all will be the same motherfuckers all on social media talking about how bad that kid was. He comes in there and starts shooting motherfuckers.
Right.
Like, stop it. Like, y'all
somebody,
motherfuckers.
Dumbass motherfucker. Somebody say, you're not the asshole. You're trying to do what's best for your son. However, you are the one who has to decide when enough is enough and when the damage to your son outweighs whatever life lessons you want him to learn.
Right.
It's a big change for a kid to move schools. He is clearly struggling. Hear him out. Don't just assume he's the issue. Then how is he not the asshole? Why are you saying all the right things? And here's the thing.
He's the issue.
Somebody is responding to him and said, dude, the kid was thriving back at the original school.
Right.
He needs to be put back there. Point blank period.
Right.
Period. Right. Somebody says not the asshole because some point your son needs to develop the skills for when he's out of his comfort zone and dealing with difficult people he encounters throughout life. It's better to learn these skills now while he's young. Before anybody says I'm being insensitive, I was bullied in school for being on the autism spectrum and was homeschooled for many years. When I finally went back to school in the classroom, I faced a period of adjustment, and I was at school for kids with behavioral challenges, so the other kids weren't easy to get along with. It was tough in the beginning, but eventually I developed the confidence to not let what they were saying affect me. Some people don't understand.
I know.
Bullying is not exclusively a verbal sport.
No, they don't get it.
And when you say that you were a victim of bullying, and then the only examples you can give us are things that people said to you.
They insulted you.
What are you talking about?
And no, you know what? That might be what the issue is going on here, right? Is that there's a disconnect from what we saw bullying as.
Right.
From what because bullying for me is physical. That's some physical shit, right? Physical
and
intimidation.
Somebody responds to them and says the kid is getting bullied. There's no toughening up. It's a matter of sadness and pain and bad memories. Like, nigga, what are we talking about here?
I'm gonna tell you
what I understand.
How many of you guys have seen that movie 3 O'Clock High? In the movie 3 O'Clock High, this was literally this situation where the kid went there, some new kid named Buddy Revell comes up in there. He's silent. He's a psycho. He looks like a damn psycho. He comes up in this motherfucker, and dude tries to interview him because he works for the school paper.
Mm-hmm.
Dude is not a talkative motherfucker. He just sat there looking like he was crazy. He realized he wasn't going to get a good interview out of this shit, and he's like, okay, well, maybe we can try to do this a different time. See you later, and put his hand on the guy's shoulder before he left. The guy was like me, a touch freak, throw fucking hands on me, and then commenced to kind of bully the dude around, knock him all around, then told him at 3 o'clock, we're going to have a fight, you little shit. So all day long, he was trying to get out. For us, the way we interpret bullying, somebody going to put their hands on you, right? Now, I don't, the idea of somebody putting their hands on any of my kids, that ain't happening. And just because I was raised during the time where it was like, go fuck them up, or go get your thing. Like, I'm gonna tell you some real shit. My mama put a weapon in your bag and send you to school. Right? Like that's how I was raised. But we know better now.
Yeah. We
know where all this shit leads. Now. So you can keep holding on to that old paradigm of you go there and eventually he'll get. You can keep doing that, but then when the sadness happens, I don't want to hear from you talking about, oh, it's just so bad now because these kids will come back to the school with you there. I'll stab somebody up. That shit happens, B. It happens a lot now. Time to switch. Time to change up on how you doing certain shit. Like
an additional thing that I want to be clear about. This shit is circumstantial.
Right.
So the difference, even though I still don't like it, I would more understand if it was a situation where, due to the family circumstances, this is where the kid.
Yeah, because everybody can't just everybody can't
just
up and leave and go someplace else. Right.
Like that would be one thing I still would have an issue with it, but that would be more understandable.
Well, no, the job then of the parent is to go up to the school and see what the fuck's going on.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's right, exactly. So with this case, clearly you seem hesitant about going in person to see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
You have another option.
Yeah.
That, by the way, we glossed over this, but your wife wants to do too.
Oh shit! So now, yeah, like
what are we talking about?
Yeah. Nah, man. Nah, you're supposed to be. He didn't do none of that.
Obviously. Yeah, he did none of that.
The whole time, this kid wasn't put in one boxing course, one karate, MMA class. He wasn't taught none of that shit. They just dumped him in this situation, and now you don't even want to go up to the school to see what the fuck is happening? Nah.
And on top of that, let's not forget that this kid is alone.
He's by himself.
This kid is the new person. He ain't got no family there. He ain't got no friends there. He's new. Yeah. Even all the fucking training in the world. If they decide that they want to be nigga, right?
Mike Tyson and Bruce Lee by himself. There's multiple motherfuckers on his
training thing as a part of like a last resort type thing. Like, but that's not going to solve the problem when he alone completely.
Also, we watch too much TV.
Nigga.
I get it. I like Karate Kid too when I went. That's it. We watch too much TV.
Yeah, it's not going to solve the problem of alone. He's alone.
I'm here to tell you right now.
One thing if you had peoples,
and that is the difference. Like I said, my nieces and nephews, it's a lot of them. And also, when I was growing up, like I remember when I first went to senior high school, I didn't go up there blind. Like I literally had my man Marlon up there. I had quite a few motherfuckers that was already up there, right? Mm-hmm. So I jumped the line of coolness because I already had cool motherfuckers that was already up there, right? So when shit kicked off, it was already known. Oh, we fighting,
right?
We fighting. He don't got that. Yeah. He by himself. No. Right. He by himself. And look, I know I've heard the same thing. If you grab the toughest one and you beat him up, the rest of them will leave you alone. This is the reality with that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, especially depending on what areas you in, that tough one, that the leader, he the leader for a reason. For a reason. Facts. He the apex entity of that school. Right? He the apex entity of that school and shit. You about to get laid down out there.
Nigga. He is the final boss.
Right.
See
this right here? That's what I said about, like, my mom's is the type to put a weapon. When I was growing up, she tried to put a weapon in your bag. But, they try and do what? That's all right. Take this. Because I'd rather see their mama cry than me cry. You know what I'm saying? That's how, but we don't.
But that's the difference in circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your mama wasn't about to get up, wasn't capable of getting up and moving all y'all to another. Like, that is last resort type shit.
We was po. It was no new school I was going to be able to go to when they picked on my brother and shit. Nah, this is school we had to be at. So there's going to have to be some rules, right? There's some rules. Next. They got money. Like, they good. Like,
take his ass back where he belongs. And also, because here's the thing that I don't know if we're considering.
You can take him back to his original school and get him some self-defense training.
You could do both of those things.
And do both.
This is the reason why I'm mad at the father, right? Because you say this now. Oh no, you got to stay there and deal with it. You didn't give him the tools to deal with that shit before then, but now you telling all of a sudden he's supposed to be Bruce Lee.
Right.
Like, nah, if that was a serious consideration, if you was really one of them type of dads that felt like, nah, my son gonna tough it out, you would give him the tools to tough it out. You ain't do none of that shit. You let him be a geek this whole time without being able to defend himself because it benefited you. You looked at it like, oh yeah, my son gets good grades. He's gonna do big things when he grow up. Right. You ain't prepare him for the wolves.
Hold up. Wait, no. Fuck this. I've been being too generous. We having this conversation about self-defense and good faith. That's not what the fuck is happening. He said to the boy, you have to find a way for to get them to relate to you.
No,
I forgot about that part. Yeah, no, fuck him. It's not about that. I forgot about that part. He said to the boy, you gotta find a way. If y'all don't get along, that's your fault. That's on you.
It's his fault.
You want me to slam my way out of an ass whipping?
Look, this
is it possible? Sure, but nigga,
this little boy didn't have any of these issues at the other school. How is it him? How is it?
Like, what is going on here? I forgot about that part. Yeah, no, this nigga had no intentions of his son actually toughing anything out.
No,
he said find common interest.
Right.
The fuck?
Yo, for instance, so he goes to school and he figures out what their common interest is. They like to take other little kids, turn them upside down, shake their pockets for money and shit. That's not what
or they like Pokemon cards. So he tells his father to go get him some rare sets of Pokemon cards. And then he goes to school and they just take his fucking cards. Like, what are we talking about?
Right. Yo, make them relate to you. Get the fuck. Relate to these fists, nigga.
Like, what are we talking about? No, fuck this
like
guy.
Y'all, and I don't gotta like y'all. As long as I ain't picking with y'all, as long as I ain't on some other shit.
Dealing with difficult people does not include befriending people who you don't want to befriend. Nah. That's not how that shit's supposed to work.
Well, first of all, why would I want to be friends with a bunch of people that bullying somebody who ain't do shit to him? Why would I want to be friends with this motherfucker? He's a piece of shit. Like,
that point.
Then when I'm running the streets with them, doing what they do, you gonna be mad at that. You was such a good boy. Nah.
Like, what are we talking about?
You crazy. Like, I get it. Y'all but I always look at the people saying it a certain type of way too. I'm like, yo, is this what you wish somebody had done for you when they were stuffing you in a locker? Is that?
Cosmo said, wait, he said the boy needs to relate to make the boys relate to him. Let me recap. The title. Am I the asshole for telling my son he needs to learn to get along with other students? Part of the last paragraph. I don't want him to be privileged and live in a bubble. Another part of the last paragraph. Blah, 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 blah. I say he should try to get along with the other students, and the fact that he cannot is on him.
That's crazy. Yo, that's crazy. So this kid was not a problem child in the other school at all. And you just assuming that when y'all went to a slightly less what's what I'm looking for, economically affluent area. So let me give y'all who don't know what typically happens in less economically affluent areas. As somebody that grew up in less area in schools. But, all right. At the very least, I was raised in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I knew the rules. I knew how to. What that boy is? Fresh meat. Served him up as fresh meat.
Right. He's a fucking transplant. He comes from a situation where none of this was necessary to deal with.
And they never had any problems with him in school. Nobody
never had no problems. He loved going to school.
It never had that problem.
And then you transplant him. Now, the original reason for transplanting, cool. Right?
Yeah.
You was helping take care of your mother.
Yeah.
I get that shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's nothing wrong with it. Now, still, even though I just still managed you a little bit, you still could have stayed where the fuck you was, because that 40-minute commute wasn't killing you.
No, I wasn't killing you. And also,
but you didn't have a reason to foresee that your child would be having these issues. So cool.
Now that you do, but see, again, now that you look, let me tell you something, bro. From day one, before I even had a kid, I knew that there was a chance that you have a kid to go to school. Somebody might try Trump. Like that's the fact he didn't do anything to prepare this kid for any of this shit, and now he don't even want to go up to the school and have a talk. But he was like, "Fuck with my kid for." Like you just putting it all on him, who you didn't prepare for any of this shit, and you basically moved his ass. You moved his ass to a school with the toughs in there. There's a bunch of the toughs up there.
That nigga, he tried to teach his son vicariously that there's a hard knock life. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
I guarantee this motherfucker got his ass whipped in school, and now he's trying to live vicariously through his kids.
Or he never had to deal with this type of shit.
Well, he was the bully.
I think it's possible that he never had to deal with this type of shit and doesn't imagine what's going on. Like, he can't wrap his head around the idea that people are going to bully you just because they're going to bully you. Like,
because you're different. It's not because he went in there and was an asshole to everybody. He just can't get along with them. He's different. And again, he's a fish out of water. He came from one environment where having to be physically imposing didn't mean anything. Like that, it wasn't a thing there. He goes to this place now where they're in a economically more depressed area, so the rules are a little different. I keep trying to tell motherfucker, poverty informs culture.
Yep.
I keep trying to tell motherfuckers that, right? The battle over resources of not having enough. And then the idea, because a lot of poor people, especially with their kids, they don't want them to look poor, so they go and pour money into them. When they go to these schools, they got these fancy clothes on, blah, 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 blah. The kid comes in there, they don't have the clothes. Their family don't have the money to do that shit. They look different. They're the odd kid out. Or it's a personality thing. They're quiet. They're in there to get, do their little work, whatever, and motherfuckers will pick on you about. Come on, are we really forgetting what school was? But I guess if you went to Sweet Valley High, that wasn't the thing.
That's what I'm saying.
That wasn't the thing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I think.
Went to Sweet Valley High, that wasn't the thing. But shit, go to Emerson, go to Walbrook.
Nigga, you don't have to name specific. I was just thinking about that.
Go to Lake Clifton.
You don't have to name specifics though, right? Because even fucking city.
Yes.
If we're gonna use this trope. Even city was sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Facts. It's in Baltimore. Like, come on, bro. Come on. Stop
so,
it.
like, bro, that's not. Yeah, no. Fuck him. Fuck him completely. Fuck him completely and singularly. Because again, the wife is like, no, let's go back.
Yeah, she down with it, and it ain't gonna hurt, and none of that's gonna hurt y'all. And then look, since you didn't do your job, Dad, of preparing that boy, since you didn't do your job, and now you don't want to do your job, going as a parent to go up to the school to see what's happening, you might as well take him back to school where he's safe at. Because right now, all he doing is catching the blues for just trying to go to school and get his education and shit. He happens to like education. What the fuck?
Yeah. Thanks.
Because he said not sex, drugs.
Nigga, you know damn well.
It was sex, drugs, and hip hop.
You went there.
It was sex, drugs, and hip hop.
No, nigga, it was.
I'm glad you brought that part up, right? Because people get it twisted, right? So, city. I had friends that went to city. These some tough ass niggas. Let me tell you something. No, yo, I think people don't. It's comparable. Like you have to look at the contrast.
Yes.
Like there are a lot of highly intelligent kids up at city that get good grades. They're still from the culture.
Yep.
Right. It's still from the fucking culture. Right. Like they still learned the rules.
Like, it's effectively a magnet school. I was supposed to either go to fucking
Emerson, yep.
Or what was the other one?
Southwest,
yep. I was even supposed to go there. Nigga, the fuck you did?
Yo, if your ass had went to South, man, let me tell you, Emerson was bad. Southwestern was Baltimore's dirty little secret. The shit that was happening at Southwestern, I had a lot of homeboys went to South. The shit that was happening at Southwestern, motherfuckers getting thrown off tiers. Like the shit that was happening up there was crazy.
Hold the fuck up. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Where's she? Nah, don't do this. The fucking chat tried to save her.
A good noodle.
No, nigga, no. Let's not do that. Nah, nigga, we not doing that. We not doing that.
A halo.
We ain't doing that shit.
Yo, Southwestern was right up the street from the fucking police department. And it would still Southwestern was so bad at one point that like especially the gang stuff was so bad that they had to redirect the buses during the school year because motherfuckers would see ops on the bus and then scores of little niggas would get on the next stop just to be up there fighting and shit. Like, stop it, B. It's still city is still in Baltimore. Like, that's what are we talking about? Cardinal Gibbons is still in Baltimore. What the fuck are we talking about? Like,
Poly, none of that shit mattered.
None of that shit matters
because the people that are attending this place are still from hoods. Like,
and a lot of those schools,
the vast majority
schools, they're still right there near the hoods. A couple of blocks. That shit don't matter. That shit don't matter. Trust me. Like, I had some very smart little cousins that were still stabbing people. Like, that shit is not. It's not what you think. It ain't what you think.
My goddaughter goes to the city currently. Her mother just had to go to court because of something that happened at school.
I'm just saying.
Nigga.
I'm just saying. and also, you got to factor in the families of these kids. Like, there was an incident that took place up there some years ago where the teacher called the parent in to have a discussion with the parent about the student. Something went left. The student started wailing on the teacher. The mom locks the door so nobody can come in. So nobody can come in and save the teacher from this ass whipping. Like, y'all, all right. All right.
So, all that being said, if this little ass kid at school that they were going to, where they didn't have to worry about none of this bullshit,
take him back.
You send this motherfucker back to the school because you can.
Right. You have the ability to do that.
The only actual inconvenience that it would have caused you is whether you decide to do that 40-minute commute or not.
And don't blame that kid no more for the shit the motherfuckers are doing to him. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's not how you're supposed to conduct it. Now he want to be a taskmaster dad. Fuck out of here, nigga. You should have had this. Should have had that little motherfucker doing push-ups. But I'm not trying to hear that from you now. Seriously, yo, I'm not trying to hear that from you now. You ain't prepared. Yo, I'm gonna tell you about my uncles and the older dudes around the neighborhood. Put your hands up, little nigga.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop. Put your hand. Take these shots. Like, y'all wasn't doing that.
Fuck this gaslighting ass motherfucker.
Yeah, yo.
Title this shit. Everybody asshole for telling my son he needs to learn to get along with other students.
Yeah,
that is what you say to somebody who is causing the problem.
That's right. He was gaslighting hard as shit.
Not somebody who's being bullied. The fuck? Man. What do we do anyway?
You need to stop.
Fuck him,
yo, stop bullying them with your good grades.
Right. The fuck are we talking about here?
Fuck out of here, nigga.
Fucking people, man. That's it.
That's it. We done with y'all. We done with. That's it. We quit. We quit humanity, yo. But before we do, we'd like to thank all of you for joining us for another rousing edition of the Black Culture Geeks podcast. Be sure to always know that we have compadres out here that do content.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For instance, my sister, his significant other, Chrissy.
Indeed.
With the Heard It Through the Grapevine podcast.
With better audio coming?
With better audio coming. The upgrades. Stop buying shit.
Upgrades. Listen, I can't.
Also, don't forget to check out my man Super Side Guy, my other dog Hendrick with Metas and Mutants.
Yep.
Don't forget to check out Majestic Comics, because every Thursday now we doing a little podcast on Majestic Comics.
Facts.
Don't forget to check out Grading Stuff. He just did First of all, those of you that are here, that was here for the 8-hour grading stream earlier,
Champions.
Salute.
Salute.
Salute. You guys are the real heroes. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget there's always music. Always.
Upgrades.
This motherfucker. Tired here with this new shit.
Nigga, listen. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Also, don't forget to check out my man GA's music on Bandcamp.
Absolutely.
Look under Gifted Anomaly. You should be able to find that shit there. Absolutely. So, for my man SPJ, I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out.
Peace.